I'm sure you all remember where we left off last week. After having finished the legendary place of Bindarius, there was a scroll, there was some curiosity, and of course, the players opened up said scroll in the end, thinking, well, we were promised reward. Let's roll with it this one time. This one time. And of course, it went bad right away. They're back at Durnan's pub, as it seems Death themselves has invited them for dinner. Now, there was a moment last week where I had mentioned John's character would be right up in front center the way he's been running it. And first thing John tells me this week when he's back in is, yes, just like that. So, things have gone pretty much according to plan. But let me get some volume and sound going here. Because as you all may recall, it was a rainy, cold morning, dark and damp, as it drizzled outside in the city of Waterdeep. The fire from the tavern was warm, but the patrons inside, every one of them at the table, dead, passed out. And on that note, since I got a little more time to play around today with it, everyone go ahead and roll perception checks as you make your way towards the table that Death had set out for you. And I'll go ahead and unpause the game. Dang it.
Okay, guys, I just rolled, on the dice, about the same as I rolled all of last week. Because last week I couldn't roll more than, a 2.
I'm sure you at least get a 3 today. I mean, we can't all be
20.
like Dan.
Starting the day off strong.
That's pretty crazy that I rolled lowest at 20 for this perception check.
Yeah.
As you're all walking in, you see Flux turns her head, gives a nod, like tip of the hat sort of thing towards one table, because a pair of eyes managed to catch your attention. One of the old generals, the one who was originally came and fought you when Lulu was kidnapped, is seated at the table. They return the somewhat nod to you as you see many of the dead as you walk through. Nilkrace and Alec would also notice, as would Jade with a 35. He probably saw it the second he set one foot in the room because, 35 is pretty darn epic. These tables are filled with the dead, certainly, but not just any. It's almost like a trophy hall to your own battle conquests. Looking from one side to the other of this room, you'll see the faces of many of those that you've dispatched in the past. Most of them in a state somewhere between life and death. In a haze where they don't overly respond, just nod or a blink towards you, as their spirits seem to be set here in some form of suspension. But Death, as mentioned, seated quite comfortably at his own private booth. A large pizza set out on his table. Deep dish, California style. Just pepperoni and cheese. Very thick. A small burning light candle at his table. He had extended a hand out and said, I believe we have some talking to do to the team. And that's where we left off last week. Except, well, there wasn't a dice roll last week. That was this week, and fun. I give you the moment in case anyone has any questions, observations, concerns, or any other sort like that before you grab a seat at the table, I give you that moment. The FMV pretty much stops there. Though I will say one last final note before I forget, because it almost slipped past me. Death does not quite appear as you've seen so far. Usually, you see Death as a skeletal being with merciless power, plucking your soul from here and there, well, at least Jade's soul, and bringing those back who are worthy. Little more than avatars of death, as it were. Small fractions and fragments of the power that this being truly contains, And seated at the table in front of you this time, however, not skeletal in form, but just that of a man, wearing dark robes. But without a doubt, you stand before death themselves. With it, eat this pizza.
What is it you're looking to talk about? As Alec eyes the door.
Slow grin spreads across his face as he waves a hand. Oh, don't worry. You are free to leave whenever you'd like, without a doubt. Simply walk through the door and you'll go home. But you'll have a lot of questions if you do. Besides,
I'm cool.
As mentioned, the only truly living being in here is Durnan, who seems to be in a bit of a stupor at the bar, more or less snoring it off at the same time, without a doubt. The machinations of death at work here.
This isn't the real pub, is it? Because we know Durnan, he's decent sort.
The grin remains on his face as he gives a slow nod. Oh no, you are most certainly back in the mortal realm, and this is most certainly Durnan's pub, though a unique situation you find yourselves within. Though you see the rain falling outside and what appears to be movement of the wind in the trees, this is but a single second, held infinitely, so I might enjoy a meal.
Flux will take a bite of pizza.
Death gives a bit of a chuckle as he himself picks up a slice. The long, stringy goodness, incredibly delicious, as he breaks it off and gives a nod. Without a doubt, as Flux takes a bite, this is humanity's greatest creation. Without a doubt.
No,
No, they had,
just sit down quietly.
Didn't know that Chicago was a place in the Forgotten Realms.
It was brought here by a wizard by the name of Dresden.
Yes.
Got lost in a Never Never.
Death squints his eyes a bit and shakes his head. I just ordered an Uber. Don't worry about it.
A what now?
What?
Exactly. Now, he's actually a very polite eater, takes the time to dab his mouth with a napkin, small bites, sets the slice down, seems to be truly enjoying himself. So, he says casually, it would appear, of all the random faces to see arrive, for the group of you to come here, having done me a favor without even realizing one was ever asked. Entertaining, to say the least. I really don't like that mummy. He reaches a hand into his robes casually as he pulls out a small black vial. The audacious fool managed to trap a specter of death, something I thought impossible, but there we are of it. And so long as the specter of death remains, his soul was unable to be claimed. It was simple fact. He could not die so long as death was in a game with him, essentially. I'll spare you the finer details, but I'm sure you can understand. However, when you slayed my avatar, and then slayed him, well, you most certainly assured his death. And for that, he sets the vial on the table and slowly slides it forward to you. That's right, I said it. This is your reward.
A specter of death?
He gives a shake of his head and taps the top of the small black vial. Opening it slowly, you can see the contents inside shifting and twisting the same way that the smoke from the void does. Death caps it slowly. This is probably the single greatest poison your world will ever see. Stab a monk with it, and they can never again use ki. So be very careful on who you decide to use this on.
A particular reason you gave us this specific? Do you know something that we don't, Death?
He holds up his slice of pizza and tilts his head to the side. Oh, come now. You have battles and challenges still awaiting you, and enemies you're facing that have that ability. Strikingly strong. I already know of your past and of the future you race towards. He turns his head a little bit and looks towards Bellamy as the DM goes, dang. Courtney's going to be probably our hiatus character. When she's here, it'll be a good time, but outside of that, I do have a quick reference. As he smiles, says, don't you know? You've seen the future. It's only a few days away now, isn't it? Anybody remember the future vision Bellamy had a while ago?
Did we ever get... Did
I
we
don't
get
think-
told what it was? Or was it just Courtney that got told?
Yeah, I don't think we were ever told.
I think she shared it with the group.
I would need to read back through my notes.
Let me drop over. Because we'll assume if she didn't, she'd explain it out now. And I'm just going to scroll back in my notes towards her.
Was it before we met the adjudicator in Zario?
Yep.
Okay.
Where the heck is that? Discord seems to be blocking it in.
Was it before Christina, the hag?
Oh yeah, it was a while back. It was when Milk Race, when the other character for John. Oh my word, my brain switched off because I'm searching as I'm talking here.
Nimbar.
When Nimbar disappeared from this world, she saw a vision of the future while she was messing with the gods.
Okay.
Did she see that, or did Nimbar see that? Because Nimbar definitely saw that.
It may have been switched over. Was that the one where you saw the world go?
Yeah,
completely- and he told the party.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
saw a vision of Sarador, the god of green dragons, making a war against the gods. He was strong enough to make the gods
That's
team
the
up.
part. Sorry, my bad. I misremembered
That-
on that one. I'm wondering,
That
like, why
ex-
can't I find it? That explains why.
That explains so much why we're all like, she had a vision of the future?
You know what it probably was? I earmarked her to get it as part of the plot, but she missed out on the day or something. That probably is what happened.
Okay. Yeah, because of
Well, no. It was because Nimbar was leaving us.
Yeah, that too.
Because she was there, because like she was just about in tears at the end of it.
Yep. Oh, right. Yes, I remember now. It was a nice episode out.
It was.
That's what happens when we change things at the last second.
It's not my fault.
Death will shift. Instead of to her, you'll say to the team, you all remember your little friend getting a vision of the world being destroyed? On a wonderful... or of Waterdeep being destroyed? On a day of celebration where people look towards the stars?
oh the dragon barrier shatters and the Godslayer casts Comet on it, so they see their doom coming.
Looks like something like Comet, yep. If you look on the calendar, you'll see Simril, a holiday, on the 20th. Which Death himself is saying as he points at a calendar over his shoulder that he's poking with his thumb. The players are more than welcome to open up the little calendar app and see one in there, but Death holds up 5 fingers. You don't know how he has 5 fingers, you should only have 4 and a thumb, but there you go.
Five
guys.
days.
A future rapidly approaching. Be interesting to see how it unfolds. You've all been an interesting watch. But we do have one problem. And that's the simple fact that the gods decided to cheat the rules in my game. And I do not appreciate that. Sure, an act of God is a powerful and wonderful thing. But I agreed to close the realms for everybody. They can't just circumvent that with their powers. His eyes turn slowly as he looks towards your mechanical, bonded, angelic friend. Isn't that right, Nilkrace?
No, Kate kind of fumbles for words and doesn't kind of say anything.
Well, I don't always appreciate when the gods step on territory that they don't belong. So we're going to have to do something about that. I think I'll just send you back. Simple enough. But a lesson needs to be made, he says casually as he holds a hand out. And you see a book appearing. John, pick a color. Pick Nilkrace's favorite color. Purple?
Milk crates? Milk crates would probably be silver.
Gunmetal silver. A beautifully bound book in silver metal with sheets of platinum, as it would appear. Forges underneath Death's very hand on the table when he pats it casually. There we go. There's the punishment. And he tosses the book over towards the group to anyone else other than Nilkrace. Maybe if you're all lucky enough to meet him again, you can give back what's been taken. And John, I'm gonna send you a quick PM.
Okay.
You quite alright there, Fergus?
I heard that. That was him? What was it?
He was just having a freak out.
Puppy felt
Okay.
bad for John. He sensed it. He's like, the one who loves dogs. No.
He's probably, yeah. So, you'll have a dog pop up, pay attention to me. You've got toys in the other room. Go get your bone.
So he casually slides this incredible book over to anyone. Whoever's first person to grab it is more than welcome to take a look.
Oh,
Jade's curiosity would drive him, so of course I'd look.
I was going to see what the chances any of us get there before.
Jade is sitting
Jade.
right beside him. What's the chances anyone gets anything?
Yeah.
Jade's
Tosses it to Alex. It still disappears midair.
Jade's like, I knew what I was doing. One hand he's playing a game of Jenga against Death, the other hand flipping through the book. Jade's surprised when he loses the game of Jenga. Death is like, I ain't no avatar. I'm really here. So they play a second game. But the book itself, as Jade flips through it, starts off in the beginning as it explains the initial days, the creation of the Warforged, how war machines and how they were born and how they were created. This is more information that John would be able to fill out, however, because Jade would quickly realize as he flips a few pages through that it appears to be the story of Nilkrace's life.
Just, Alec would feel the need to maybe say the obvious. Like, whoa, what do you mean he's not supposed to be here? Okay, none of us are supposed to be here. So really.
No, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You chose where to walk, and you chose how to go there, and fought there with mortal guys. For this one, you all went to the gods and said, "Hey, could you help us?" And they said, "Okay, we'll break the rules. Just this once." And I don't appreciate the rules being broken when I have a foot in them. So I am correcting things and ensuring they won't repeat.
Because curiosity drives me, I flip to the back.
At the very end, it seems to be self-annotated. It says, "And I sat down at a table with them, looking around the room as Death smiled at me and said, 'Something needs to be paid.'" And the book comes to an abrupt end.
We don't know that it says that. Only Jade knows that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What must be paid?
Death looks over towards Jade and smiles, tapping the book. "Payment's already been completed, my friend." And then picks up a second slice of pizza, saying lightly under his breath, "Don't mind if I do."
What was the price?
Death smiles and looks towards Nil Crates, tilts his head a bit towards one side, then looks back at the team. "Oh, you'll know in a moment. Wouldn't you say so, buddy?" he says towards Nil Crates.
Nilkrit is currently holding his sword, like in his hand. He hasn't drawn it. And who are you guys?
Whoa, everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. What do you mean, who are we guys?
I mean, who are you guys? Who am I?
Death puts his hands on the cover of the book and slowly closes it as he slides it towards Jade and smiles. Like I said, find him again someday. Repair that bridge between the worlds. And you'll be able to give back what's rightfully his. But this should prevent any further intrusions of his own, wouldn't you say?
But why are we being punished? We've only done what you've asked. We did you a favor. You told us that yourself. Why did you take his memories? Why would you do that?
Death gives a little wink and points a finger back and says, "Because not all things are easy to do. And if I'm going to reattach a string in the weave, I need a little bit of payment for it. So thank your friend." As Death lifts up his hands, seems to grasp something in midair between his fingers, and then snaps them. You feel a shuddering crack go through the very world itself for just a brief instant. Then he smiles and nods.
So who are you people? What is going on?
Okay, we are your friends.
I don't know you.
We know you.
Do you?
Yep.
Who am I?
You're
You're a good man.
Nilkrate?
Will he be safe? I'll look at Death and say that.
Death, who is presently enjoying a stringy bite of the cheese, takes a moment as he's been caught off guard, like a server coming and asking, "How's your meal?" when your mouth is full. Gives a bit of a chuckle, wipes his mouth down a moment later, sets it, gives a nod. He says, "Oh, of course. Like you said, you don't deserve punishment. That's no fun, despite who I am." Oh, sorry, John just sent me a message. Set me off for a sec.
Sorry.
No, I'll fix that quickly, John. I know what you're talking.
Okay.
We'll get the
So-
other part fixed in a minute. He looks over. He's saying you do not deserve to be punished. No, definitely not. And as he looks over towards Nilkrates with a nod and says he will be, of course, safe. He's going to go back home, to the world of the angels, to the celestial beings and all of their stuffy fuffiness. Not a fan, personally. But he'll be comfortable there. They'll take care of him for sure.
What did you fix in the weave?
He slowly smiles as he stands up and taps the side of his nose. You'll be surprised to find out, my friend. Believe me on that much. I'm just putting things back the way they're supposed to be. However, my time is running short, though limitless as it is. I know that might seem a strange thing, but if you can ever see the world through the eyes of ones who are godly, it would make more sense. But on that note, I am going to leave soon, so if you have any pressing questions or matters, I'd bring them up now. Beyond that, you can all remain here for as long as you'd like, just frozen in this moment, ever burning in the morning of Waterdeep. Take your time to rest, eat up, have food. For when you next step through a doorway, you'll find yourselves right back in hell where you were. Well, except you, he says as he points towards Nilkrace. You need to come with me. I have to drop you off on my way. I'm sure you understand.
Okay.
What can you tell us about the power between the worlds, the stuff that the Godslayers tapped into? I mean, you slayed a god, the god's dead, right? So you must know about that because you're death.
Yes, of course. I will eventually take everything that this world has. It is my purpose, my nature, and my means for existence. Whether it's the gods themselves or each one of you someday, I will come for you. It's my only purpose. Pure as it is. Cruel as it is. But the power, the void between the worlds, as strong as it is, pales in comparison to the might of Sardior. You'd do wise to remember that one thing. He is but manipulating the elemental cosmic forces that bind us all. A simple thing. Though you, my friend, are a spiritual being, and dragons are material, there's a strict difference there. And taking that into account would explain very many things. Very many complex things. The void helps you all bridge that gap. For those who can stomach its power, as rare as they are, even the gods dare not tread on that ground. Too powerful. And besides, they're the ones who locked Sardior away in the first place. Who'd want that free? Death takes a moment and looks down at his pizza, half-eaten slice remaining. He looks up. Though, with the number of worlds now diminishing once again, I will admit my job's become somewhat easier to do, not nearly so busy anymore.
Does the overall lack of death not annoy you?
Not in the least. If the waters recede and there is less in the ocean, the tide still comes and goes. It is but an autonomic process. I am little more than that at the end of the day. Though I can create, I have no reason to and no drive to, for it is my purpose to destroy. You want to talk about creation? Well, that's someone else entirely. And they very rarely interact with the gods, let alone mortals. Now, my time is limited. I'll give you all one more question. Anything you want to know that's within my power to grant an answer to.
Any of you guys have anything you want to ask?
I was on mute. I said, yeah, first of all, how dare you? Just joking, but
10 points, Jillian, 10 points. It is a chance, though, if anyone's got a burning question about anything in the game or something like that, you can swing it at him.
Oh, I've got one I want to ask. But I don't know if the rest of you would agree. So this is out of character for the minute. But who the fuck are we missing? Who's the person that they
Yes,
keep saying
please
I thought there was more of you?
yes, absolutely yes.
Please fucking ask.
Okay, so I'll go. So Death,
Indeed.
buddy, old pal. People keep saying to us, "I'm sorry for your loss. There was one more of you, right?" Who are they talking about? We simply need to know, okay? It'll help me sleep better. Who are they talking about?
Death slowly smiles and nods his head. Such is the might of Sardior, able to stretch mighty claws. Past, present, and future all exist within the palm of their hand. Sorry,
It's not
just got a
really
question. He has more to say.
Okay, I was gonna say that can't be all.
I was gonna, that's possibly the most cryptic thing you said.
And in fact, there weren't? I'm not sure what sort of verb you'd use for that in the language. Someone who should exist but no longer does, wiped out in the future. Not yet to come. Such is the strength of a being that despite your actions, motives, and changes to these ever-spawning and broken timelines, they can reach back and still wipe you out from the get-go. As he extends a hand and points towards Nilkrace, says, "Now come along. For them to know their answer, you have to come with me."
So we'll know when yous leave.
Death raises his other hand and taps his nose, then pauses as he sees a piece of cheese string coming off of it and glances a little bit towards Jade. Seems to blame him for sleight of hand, but I don't think Jade would have been that brave. This was truly a slip by Death, it seems, as he wipes his face off with a napkin. "I'm being polite," Death said calmly, "but time is up. Come along,
Okay.
Nilkrace." Now I will say, one thing you can be 100% certain of. This is actually Death. He's actually here in physical form. You could fight him. The DM does not recommend it. Common sense does not recommend it.
I think we're still incredibly hurt. If I don't think being at full strength would really change much.
His stats do not recommend it.
He's a multi-cosmic force.
Hey, look, the only way I'm fighting him is a game of Jenga, again.
Yeah, he's too strong. I put up his character sheet inside the recording. You'll see. The DM went nuts with numbers. That's pretty much that. You could fight him, but you'd have to roll a lot of ones. Like, and we'd be here for a couple years. Yeah, but that's the case. Semi-powerful cosmic deity-style beings above gods, you know.
Yeah. Just so we're clear, his stats would be 99, 99, 99, 99, 99.
He's broken the stat barrier.
I did give him 99 AC, so you're close. Jillian, like, popping knuckles. I can roll crits. Oh, but I jest. Now, unless somebody's going to make an interjection, he will indeed take Nimbar by one hand and walk towards a door with him.
Wait, when did Nimbar get here?
Sorry, not Nimbar. Nilcrace. Too many nils. Nims, nams. Takes Nilcrace by the hand. We were talking about the old wizard and he kept coming into my head. And the two of them would walk away, practically disappearing when you blink an eye. True to Death's word, I will say, for the meta-knowledge for the players, he's honest. He does in fact take Nilcrace immediately back to the world of the angels, dropping him off in the celestial higher levels, where he came from. And as the team looks back towards his spot at the table, you all feel a momentary, sad feeling. Of course, because you blink and you miss it. For a half second, you see someone sitting in that chair. A beast of a barbarian, gigantic axe upon their back, broad smile on their face. Can't remember much about them or anything of the sort. But a single name, not even sure if male or female, stays sketched now to your consciousness. And you know they should have been here with you. But as Death has informed you, someday Sardior will take them. Or already has, or something of the sort. Time's an odd thing to play with.
Stonebreaker.
Could be male, could be female. DM leaves it up in the air on purpose for that one. Not the most important fact. Little things throughout the campaign might now flare differently. Like you might remember at one point in time you found a whole bunch of statues. One of them was of a barbarian that looked strikingly familiar. That's not them, it's just, you know, represented a plot line.
Right. Interesting. Lara Stonebreaker.
Apparently, a party member missing.
Alright, we have a name.
But we only have more questions now.
Yep. So, for the three characters sitting at the table, I'd give Bellamy one, but it'd be more fun if she was here to play it, so mostly having her character as NPC status. If Courtney shows up for a game, awesome, she can jump in and play, but outside of that, she'll mostly be sitting there like, oh my god, he's gone, and be sad, you know? She's missing her friend right now. For the three of you, give me a D12 roll in the window, just a random D12. To figure out what singular fact you recall about your friend.
I don't think I've rolled a D12 as Alex.
That's
a barbarian die.
Exactly why I'm using the tail. 10, 11, 12. Look at that.
Look at that.
That's actually kind of impressive.
Jade, with the 12, you remember nothing could break the front line between Flux and them back to back. It was a nightmare, which would give you so many openings. Alec, with an 11, you remember they took an axe that Dusty had stolen, you know the one, and made fun using it a lot in combat. Vein Eater, I believe? Vein? You'll have to cut me some slack. It's the critical role one. It appeared in the campaign. And Dusty actually did steal it one time. Showed up, he's like, guys, I don't know what to do with this. I was looking for food and I found this by a tent, and I just ran with it. Say it's the one moment the guy was off guard, maybe using the washroom or something, I don't know. But they wielded that. And Flux, with a 10. Your character recalls they were, I say she by accident because I'm looking at Flux, female character.
It's okay.
Specifically, no gender remembered, because I just want to leave it ambiguous in general. Let people fill it on their own. Maybe it was either. You never know. Time is a weird thing in D&D. Players get to pick what they want for a character. But you remember, they were the only one amongst you who didn't make that mountain climb way back, fell to the obsidian. Survived, though, because, they're tough as nails. Barbarian and all that. We'll say they were absent that week from the game, maybe. And they're the only ones who didn't make a deal with Asmodeus. Something that always struck out. Beyond that, though, no other memories of that character would surface. But the feeling of loss would be intensified and wouldn't go away anymore. Because now you know someone is indeed missing. You just don't know why. Well, you know what God's behind it. Oh, which reminds me. Up and up.
It's like deja vu, but sadder.
Mm-hmm.
Bellamy, you're an incredibly ugly crier.
do your cry, Dean.
Oh, my Fergus ugly cry. You're always going to be on the verge of throwing up. That's the rule.
I'm going to stay then for Bellamy. She spent her time ripping on the barbarian all the time. Best friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Alec will pass her a table napkin to use as a tissue. But I imagine Bellamy continues to just use her hands.
Oh, she probably has the whole tablecloth up at this point, you know what I'm saying? We'll run with it if we want her to be the ugly crier at the moment. We'll have her run.
This is for Dean and Dean only. Imagine that Flux is taking a bite of her pizza and then she remembers Alara and starts sobbing into her pizza.
I can picture it now. She's even got the slice of pizza in her mouth and tears are just coming down.
Oh, it's based on true events.
Oh god, that's even better.
Yeah. we were listening to the end of NADPod, and there was like a sad moment in the podcast.
Heartbreaking moment.
And,
don't downplay it.
Jillian was mid-bite and just burst into tears with like clenched teeth and food hanging out her mouth.
Oh.
It's like instant. It's one of the funniest things I've seen. Second funniest Jillian thing I've seen.
Oh no.
I like watching her
let's
hit
see
you on the head with a sword. That was fun. I gotta admit. Oh, I even got the fancy music playing for that one. Sweet. I barely heard it though, I'll be honest. And with all these things going on, did Jade just go, huh, so that's how it is? Or is he looking sad at the table too?
Well, so kind of like, oh, so that's how that is. That solves that curiosity. Now where's Nimbar? Because the only weave-related thing I know about is Nimbar losing his from using the power of the gods, and he just fixed the weave. So Jade's guess would be he just did something to Nimbar. So when am I going to see him?
The thought did cross my mind.
Probably 15 minutes of Jade searching around the entirety of the tavern, like looking under tables and all that. It's like, he's short, I'll find him, but no. No sign of Nimbar.
I'd smell him. He had an old man smell mixed with like a book smell. Can't sniff him out. Jeez, this has been a heavy dinner. Like, not the food, but like conversationally. Should we... He says time's frozen. Should we sleep here, then go back? Or should we leave sooner? I mean, Bellamy's crying has tore open some of the cuts that we're healing.
If time is frozen here, I would recommend long rest here, because the second we go back, the 5-day timer starts.
Yeah. That's I don't do well with deadlines. I'm a procrastinator. I like to wait till, day before, then really hit it hard, but I don't think going to be able to do that with this one. I feel like I'm going to apply myself. Nah, that seems like a lot. Seems like, yeah. Yeah. Do you think if we went down the well, we could do the Mad Mage's dungeon while frozen in time?
Let's not.
Welcome to the campaign within the campaign within the campaign.
So, won't
Jumps
lie.
down to the whole clip set of the game map. Not
I
rendered.
I also considered it.
Yep.
It's just like, yeah, we start that, we'll still be putting this onto like YouTube when we're like in our 60s.
It'll be like 2042 by the time we finish. Oh my god.
Yeah.
If you do decide to go down there, watch out for bugbears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Poor Jade.
I mean, to be fair, if we did go down at level 19, the first few levels would be a cakewalk.
Jade, you specifically remember the bugbears didn't kill you when the barbarian was there.
It was the other barbarian that was there that got us into trouble.
Yep. They didn't get along very well. They always headbutted, we'll say, because they're two barbarians, But with the extra barbarian, you remember, you didn't die there. So
They kept trying to one up each other.
I
more or
think
less
probably
to underline that they've been with you that long.
Alara was furious over the treatment of the puppy. So it's a puppy, it can't be an attack dog. But I've had it for like 2 days now, so it's still a puppy.
I remember that.
Dang.
Oh dear.
Well, you're at a bar. Lots of food, lots of liquor. Time kind of frozen. And the DM does admit, yeah, you can certainly take a long rest right now if you all wanted one.
Yeah. Does anyone want me to make them a cocktail? Okay. Alec.
Something strong, make me a double.
Okay. Alec makes a cocktail, and it's just whiskey with some ice.
Perfect, thank you.
Two ingredients, that counts.
Yep. Throw back.
Oh, that's not a sipping whiskey. That's okay. Well, there's always the next one.
Bellamy grabs the bottle. Let's be honest. I could see
Oh
it.
no. Okay.
Just the throwback.
Alright.
Hey, just make sure you guys pay Darren. Don't want to owe him money.
We'll just leave like a massive gemstone on the counter. Just pick one at random from Jade's thing, and it'll like cover his costs for a year or something.
I wonder if Jade's sleight of hand let him do magic tricks. He just takes a gem that's too big in a bottle, waves a hand, and it's inside the bottle. Like, oh. Just an off thought. I've seen a lot of little magician tricks recently, and I'm like, sleight of hand is cool. Alrighty, so feel free to apply a long rest to your characters. I'll do the same for Bellamy. But as mentioned, time does not flow. You're stuck in a singular moment here. Even though the world's still active, you see pedestrians run by outside, different people, never the same, like an active, bustling city, eternally stuck at 5:34 in the morning. I wrote it down. I was smart.
Oh, because the time is currently ticking up.
You also get the effects of a new day, a new dawn. I couldn't pause the time without pausing the whole damn game. So, you do get the full effects as well of at dawn and at dusk abilities. All of those kick in. Everything. You get a really nice rest. But you're still hungry. Oh wait, no, this isn't Chrono Trigger.
Okay, where's my...
One
Where's
nice
my
plus.
thing?
After 8 hours, that pizza is still fresh and warm on the table. Oddest thing.
Does it keep growing back? Because then there's a chance that Alec will never leave.
A little bit. Death has that sort of skill. It's nice Chicago style.
2, 3. Oh, that's exactly what I needed for all my charges back.
Nice.
Oh, and if I've just slept, then I need to see what I got for... Hey, guess what I found out the other day just by reading my character sheet a bit closer? But when I'm in my dragon form, my concentration checks, the roll can't be lower than a 10.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
I thought it was like advantage or something like that.
that's your starry form of the dragon.
Yeah, but it's just, I think it's just, no, it's 10, which means my minimum's a 20, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Means you're probably not going to fail concentration checks.
I didn't say that, so I'm not challenging Alan. So I just want it on record that I didn't say that. So wasn't me.
I appreciate that, because I'll find one. I'll be like, oh yeah, it's a 47 concentration check. Can you do that?
Yeah.
How did you?
So
You just got hit for 200 damage. Oh shit, concentration broken.
Yeah, so I didn't say that. It wasn't me.
You've got a wheel. Actually, let me clear the chat. I got wheel. I'll put it right at the very top. So, anything the party wants done or anything special to do before you walk through that portal, well, at least through a doorway, to return yourselves back.
Does anyone get anything they were reading or training? I don't think there was anything like that. I don't know. Did you get another book, Gillian? Or is that my...
No,
Good.
the last book I got was my charisma book, and I was able to read that already.
Okay. I find a patch of dirt beneath the floorboards and I plant a magic bean. I'm just... I'm not doing that again.
A pyramid springs up, blocking the magic of the hole in the middle of the floor, and nothing happens.
Ah!
Just what we need, a new side quest.
This guy just passes you his treasure and shakes his head. Nope, I saw what you did. I have YouTube. I saw what you did.
YouTube? What?
Exactly. Pyramid of YouTubius. Oh my word.
But there's another bigger pyramid called YouTubius Premium.
Oh wow. That's a lot of gold though.
Yeah. I was just having a look through my cloak, my inventory. I don't think there's anything that needs time.
Does anybody want any weapons or anything? I have a bunch that I'm not using.
Flux like has a trench coat on, flips that thing open. There's like weapons galore. Hey, Mac, want to buy a sword?
No, I think I'm good for weapons. I can use daggers and scimitars with a degree of competency, but that's about it. No, I think I'm all. Oh, I mean, I've got a herbalism kit. I can make healing potions, but I think it takes a day per potion. So I think that might be a. We've still got like what, more than 70, I think.
Yeah.
It is funny because last dungeon we've used more in there than the rest of the campaign put together.
Yeah.
DM's like, I'm gonna make a hard dungeon. Team's like, okay. By the end of it, there. Yeah. All the potions gone. It's good. Just start chugging them back. Poor Ray is just limping along like, I don't like spike traps anymore. DM, why didn't you make me proficient in strength saves? And the DM's like, because you're in hell.
So you have a +8. It really should be enough.
You think that? But that was mean.
Yeah.
I was rolling against her and they had a higher bonus and it was nasty. But I digress. So, with your rests done and your configurations complete, you all heading your way back?
Yeah, I think so.
No matter which door you take, no matter which way you go, the experience is somewhat the same as a large...
Can I try to take some pizza with me?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Looks like picking up 3 or 4 slices like, this is going with me, this is too good. It is delicious.
I'll just take the box.
Perfect. You know what? I'm gonna say it says Tony's on the side, just like pizza. Tony's Pizza in downtown Halifax. Because, just because. You just go with it. The whole box, you're like, this is coming with me. As you walk through the doorway, once again filled with light, things shift and twist as you find yourselves transported back to the pyramid of Bindarius. Bindarius Artemaeus III, or Artemes III. And as you all reappear where you were, you find yourself missing one ally, of course. Though a familiar pair of eyes peek out from around the corner, as a severely injured Nimbar, who the DM's going to give full HP as if he had a long rest anyway, peeks out around at the group of you. And this doesn't come as any surprise. It's the strangest thing. At first, you were concerned, like, wait a second, what was going on? But to Jade's point, death must have fixed the weave. Though your memories themselves seem to be somewhat adjusted. In the fight where you lost, Nimbar, the rules and the balance were changed somewhat. In that penultimate moment where everyone was drawing their magic against the Godslayer, trying to keep them from this world, your dearly departed friend Alara broke through the sky as they fell down just like the rest of you, and sledgehammered their axe directly into the face. There was enough pressure that Nimbar was able to shake off and managed to survive. His own magics kept intact while still banishing the Godslayer themselves from the weave. Of course, that missing party member still is a no-show, but with access to knowledge about them, it would appear death twisted those broken timelines together to create something different in order to give Nimbar a second chance.
I do have to ask, is Pup actually still here?
Pup actually is still here.
Oh my god. They can't be separated?
Poor Pup.
Pup is gonna wander over because he can't feel his master.
Pup's memory of the timeline is completely unchanged. The only being, actually. That's right, I pulled a Spider-Man one more day here. Everyone's memory has changed, except Pup's. Pup can tell the change and the twist and things moving on and the fact that his buddy's not back.
You didn't hear it because our mic was muted, but I just heard echoing from the basement. Oh no!
Well, John, I'll give you control of Pup as an NPC. He's with the team. Stats are kind of locked to wherever he's at. You can always repair him and fix him up, but
Yeah.
you've got, unfortunately, an abandoned puppy.
And Nilcrace wouldn't abandon him. He wouldn't.
I took everything from Nilcrace to bring back Nimbar, including his puppy. But on the flip of that, you can all take Puppy with you. Feel free. I mean, let's be honest, with Nilcrace gone, his pup is probably going to be wandering over, bumping Alec and giving a whimper because, well, Nilcrace liked to pick on Alec with him, among things. I figured I'd leave you all that one piece of Nilcrace.
Pup's just like looking around, like, where's Nilcrace?
It's alright, boy. I'll get him back. He's on the list.
And John, I'm just going to make a quick edit on your Discord name to Nimbar.
Okay.
And we're going to say in the last fight, Nimbar was most certainly the most injured next to Rhea. He was barely surviving with an inch, so when the party decided we're going to open a scroll, he pretty much gave the thumbs up. I'll watch from back here. Which now leads to this moment where he's probably wondering, hey, what happened?
I'm going to recite word for word what happened in real time just now. Everyone, buckle in.
Alright, I'll skip 5 minutes.
All right, we'll inform. We'll tell Number everything about what happened.
You guys, why do you guys insist on messing with gods and deities and cosmic beings?
We insisted on nothing. Death took us in, and we had no control after that. Do you want a piece of pizza?
I would love a pizza.
Dude.
I genuinely yearn for the day that I'm just fighting like orcs or dragon cultists again. Like
Completely agreed.
100%.
Even just dragons at this point, like
Yeah.
like just a regular dragon, red dragon, come to Burning Village, like
Yeah.
Nimbar
Easy.
gets a firm headbutt from Lulu. And she's like, well, what you expect? You got all the high level 19 going on now. It's all messed up. Apparently you died, so welcome back, buddy. I think. I'm not sure anymore. It's starting to hurt my head.
Pup just looks at them like, guys, are you insane?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, we are insane because we keep going forward. By rights, we shouldn't even be here.
No.
Samwise Gamgee, much respect.
Meanwhile, Flux is probably just having another 2 or 3 slices of pizza. He sees them keep coming back in the box every time she looks away from it.
No, I was gonna save some for I'll give a piece to Rhea if she's there. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, she's
And-
all injured to heck, mind you, but she takes a piece. She's like, "Oh, this is great. I've never seen."
I'll
pizza
save
made
it.
like this."
I'll save the last piece for Zariel.
Oh no, it's regenerating pizza. Because when you look back down, it's a full pizza
okay.
once again, warm and fresh in your
Excellent.
hands.
It tastes like food. Doesn't taste like garbage.
So besides a poison capable of removing a monk's ability to use ki, which would completely annihilate the class, you've also been granted the pizza box of infinite pizza.
Nice.
And it's just regular tasting, and indeed it's immune to the effects of the 8-9 layers of hell. That it does taste delicious, thankfully. It is warm and tender and juicy. Just like a nice deep dish cheesy pizza. But it's always pepperoni. Can't change the toppings. One choice only. Carry out.
It's fine.
Ray is like
Warm
numbing
pizza?
down like, this is so good.
I'll put it in my bag of holding.
This is possibly the greatest treasure we've found to date.
Yeah.
DM said he had some good ones.
Alec throws his staff of woodlands to the side.
Pup is going to like kind of look like curl up in the corner.
Do you want a piece of pie, Pup?
Just continues to lay in the corner.
Lulu will walk over and flop on Pup. Give him the
Flux
sad
will-
cuddles.
Flux will sit with him and give him pats.
I can't believe you did this. You are a monster.
If you can ever find Nimbar, my god, Nilkrace again,
Easy,
you can
done.
reunite Pup and the book with him. But yes, I left you with Pup. He's your responsibility now. Cheer that dog up. It's one of my most evil moves as a DM.
Yeah, I don't know of an eviler move you've made.
Nope. Mind you, it would have been sad for Pup to go with them, because Pup would be like, hey buddy, and he'd be like, who the hell are you, dog? I'm not sure what would be more mean. I mean, he'd come to love the dog right away, but it wouldn't be the same guy for the dog, you know?
Okay.
Either way, not a good outcome. So,
But I feel like Pup is like a part of Nimbar or Nilkrites, so it would be better for him.
probably. Well, the only downside is now nobody can use Pup's super special abilities, like the reactions and all that. I think they have to be from the class, right?
I don't know about the reaction. He can't attack.
No, he's...
But,
Is it... Well, he
but
does.
like
Force
the
empowered, right?
reaction, it doesn't say. Well, no, the force empowered one you have to tell him to use.
Yeah. It's going to be up to the party anyway, if you even want that him coming along into battle anymore.
Well, he's gonna just get annihilated, so probably better to leave him.
We've got a new ship, buddy.
You know, a guard pup for the ship.
Yeah.
As you're all discussing and things are going on, Rhea's eyes go a bit wide. She gives a squint and looks up towards the ceiling, probably drawing the rest of your attention. And let's be honest, you all have better perception than... Well, actually, hang on. Rhea's got the perception of plus 14, so you know that's not bad, actually. She's used to catching bad things happening to her all the time, because the DM's evil. As she looks up towards the ceiling of this massive pyramid, holding up her shield and says, "It's coming down!"
That
What's
would
coming
be-
down? The pyramid?
Yeah, that would be good if we were in it, yeah.
It collapses, certainly. Thankfully, mostly in front of where you all are. The walls in this section that I am pointing to over here mostly give out entirely. As it's broken to pieces, you hear something very familiar. As Alec's voice cries out, "There he is, there's the arsehole, I'm going to get it," right into the ground. You remember. The copy of you who doesn't like you.
Yeah.
That's probably not the concerning part, however, as a Baelor has been broken through the ceiling into the middle of this area. And with two knees shoved into its face, you see Judicator, holding down, turns and looks towards the party, having absolutely shattered this monster. But that's not who shouts out to you, nope. From the broken crevice top of the building, you see Zariel. You're Zariel, leaning her head over and giving a quick shout. "We're under attack. Time to move. We have to go. You're done there."
Alright, okay. It's go time. Rhea, I think you need to sit back in this one. You're nearly dead with 60 hit points.
Rhea puts a hand on her hip. She goes, "I am..." Well, actually, hold on now, since she's actually going to talk. "I am more than capable of taking care of myself. I will have you know I've been in worse scrap. Put me down!" Doesn't take half a moment. Judicator picking her up and throwing her over their shoulder, giving a nod to the party as their platinum wings spread wide and they took off straight up. You can see above your ship floating not too far. The angelic Zariel piloting it, which probably comes as no surprise. I mean, we know she can. And Lulu looking up with a squint leg. Oh, well, I suppose I could go mammoth and carry a few. We should get out here if we're under attack, though. Now, I'm not too worried about the mechanics. We can FMV the outro. You can just...
Sure.
Most of you have the ability to fly in some way or another.
Yeah, I can... Like, I can cast Polymorph with that Eyes of Mystra thing for free, so I can just, like, turn someone into, like, a giant flying thing, or myself, and just ferry everyone up. It's...
Lux becomes a real dragon. Not that she isn't real as a dragon born, but you know, I just ruined my own joke. Never mind.
I know what you mean. I'm not offended. Don't worry.
Looks like Papa Knuckle. I'm not strong enough. DM apologizes. Character getting too strong threatens the very fabric of the universe. But an escape isn't too bad of a thing for you all to make. Your ship and abilities being quite fast, though you do see, outside of the Temple of Bindarius, many devils and demons making their way through, seemingly together. Though I meant devils alone, not demons. Demons are the ones from the Abyss. Many devils, ice devils, bearded devils, making their way through the cold, charging on your location. But it doesn't take you all long to make your way up on top of the ship. Judicator puts a foot on the edge as they lean over, drawing a blade. Rhea grabs them by the arm and shakes her head, mentioning that they're retreating. And it seems to be enough. Though, in these moments, as you're all making your exit, Zariel, your Zariel, the one trapped in elven form, walks over to Nimbar and passes to him the majority of the belongings from Isaac as she shakes her head. The crazed fool ran back in. He was followed by so many, went to the strange obelisk and put his hands on it. Then they all just disappeared. All of his belongings left behind. She passes them towards you. Isaac. DM gives him an actual send-off that way. So it's not just poof, he's gone. He ran back in and activated the obelisk while under attack from a bunch of them. This also gives Nimbar the remaining wizardly stuff, so, you know, puts it all in one spot so we don't have plot holes later.
Huh. Didn't expect him to be so reckless.
Yeah.
It must have
Thought
been...
I trained him better.
Yeah, I think he took you leaving pretty hard.
Leaving? I never left.
You... Well, I guess you would think that.
Lulu looking up,
I mean,
also
we all
very
think
confused.
We all think that now, remember?
Do we?
But the players who were there have the duality of memory. Unfortunately,
Alex nose
Nimbar
starts to bleed.
doesn't quite
Same.
get the memory of the missing person. But yeah, nosebleeds all around. Bellamy rushing with tissues like, it's okay. We can't lose any more HP right now. So.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna go ahead and swap the map over then as we leave the Pyramid of Bindarius behind, and the DM leaves you all with nice fancy funky stuff. The new map should activate in a sec, though I do need to make a quick change. Remove no crates and add in Nimbar. And I'm going to change Nimbar's settings.
Should probably take Isaac out as well.
Oh yeah. I'll pop him into the archive. And no grace as well.
We do have quite the collection of NPCs, but they're It's interesting compared to the other game. We've got a collection of NPCs that aren't useful, but here we've got NPCs that are like uber NPCs. It's a nice duality in my mind.
Crickendall puts a hand on Alex's shoulder, tears in his eyes. He's like, "Oh, thank you, buddy. I'll be useful someday in some way. I knew it, man." The most.
He's such a the best goddamn ship guard / pilot we've ever had. Well, not compared to Jade. He's better, but you know what I mean.
He gives a nod. Oh yeah, no, ain't nobody gonna be able to pilot like you guys can. Come on now.
Did Flux prefer flying the ship or driving the Infernal War Machines, Jillian?
Great question. I've never really thought about it before.
So I know Flux is a good driver, but I don't know if you've ever expressed a liking for flying the ship.
She'd probably like the ship better because it would remind her. Sorry, I yawned in the middle of that. It would remind her of Dusty. So she'd probably
Fair
like
enough.
that.
Be enough to give herself a rub of her chin as she wonders as well. Never having the time to just sit back and think about it.
It's just, really shouldn't have these thoughts in the middle of like a devilish attack that we're fleeing from, but just pause to wonder as we look out at the army. Oh yeah, well, I like the
Large
ship.
amounts are around the area. We even have a few vessels. However, not many things, if any, are able to keep up with your ship as you flee from the side quest.
Were we still on the island, the small island?
Christina Summit, yep, that very small island, so it wasn't far for you to get away from.
How big was the island?
Very small. Couple kilometer at best across. You're out of there in no time with your movement speed.
Oh, how? It's only 200 feet. No, okay. I was thinking of doing a cheeky earthquake to collapse the island in on them, but it would only be 200 feet across, so I'll just leave it.
Could ruin the top layer. Be like, ha.
Nice island you've got there. Would be a shame if something were to happen to it.
Of course, that would make copy Alec curse a lot. He's already pretty mad at himself, so to speak.
He already hates me. It's not going to change. I've heard tell that the Scottish are a contentious people.
This has proved it. Now here's the kicker. Even in your ship traveling, you're heading towards Kintyre. It's still a day's flight. That being said, you've got a boatload of odd NPCs on the boat. Most of the time, Judicator would be sitting themselves down over on the edge of the boat off the gunwale, relaxed and casual, looking out towards, mostly looking for challenges, it would seem. You're not too worried about them falling off, though, you know, with that incredible movement speed, they could just catch right back up. There's also Rhea and Zerial herself, who I don't have on the map because I have the regular Zerial.
What
There we go.
was the thing we used that we could boost the ship's speed with? I know it was dangerous, but how dangerous was it? Like, it was.
Remember when you had to turn into a dragon and rip the engine out of the ship? It does that if we use it long enough.
Right. Yeah, that was because we used the demon echo, not just because it was like a funky flying crystal.
No, what it was, because it was explained to me, was the crystal we got ran on demon ichor instead of water.
Right.
So when we were putting water into it, we were boosting it. So if we took the regular one, which runs on water, and poured the demon ichor onto it, it would boost and act the same way as that one did.
Okay. Right. I see. Okay, that makes sense. Well, let's scratch that off the off the plan of action. Not doing that again.
Although if Nilkritz was here, we could have worked on double motor and had two of them going, one running on the Icar, the other running on the water, and try to double ship speed.
Jade looks longingly out to the sea, thinks about the tinkering he could have done.
Silly question. This may not work.
Yeah.
Can we tie a rope to the Judicator and have him drag the ship?
Oh.
Well, as you know about push, pull, or drag, it's gonna cut their speed in half if it's anything. You know what I mean? So yes, but
how
actually
fast does
no.
the ship go?
500.
Oh, okay.
So he goes the same as the ship then.
Well, he does 750 on flight.
Alright. He half that, then if he doubles it with dashing. It's not, it sounds trickier than it. What do we have that could time to the ship that would withstand that force?
True.
5 rolls of broken hempen rope later.
Somewhere around this, Judicator's gonna pause as they turn their head to look towards you, masked face tilting a little bit, gives a shake, looks back out over the water.
Ooh, a reaction.
Well, we've got a day's travel, so Nimbar will use the Arcane Grimoire to cast Wish, to wish for a simulacrum of himself.
Yep.
A naked grandpa appears.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we have the items from Isaac, so we're going to deck him out.
Why would you use the Arcane Grimoire? We have the Tomb of the Still Tongue.
Sorry, that's the one I meant. That is what I thought I was doing.
Which means your simulacrum has Wish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then we can just give him the Robe of the Archimedes, Staff of Magi, and the other Arcane Grimoire. I'm going to bring those on.
Well, while John's prepping through that, anybody have any questions or anything like that for your time-lost traveling friends? I think Rhea just went through 3 packs of bandages, by the way.
Right, yeah. So we our characters don't know. We both know and don't know that Nimbar was gone.
Yep.
Okay.
You are aware of both timelines being overlapped now, because I need an explanation for the massive plot hole, and it's just easier to do that.
Right. Okay. I guess then Alec will ask Nimbar to recount events to see if, like, anything strikes him as particularly different or odd. So I guess I'm asking the DM via Nimbar, but I don't. That's a very confusing line of thought.
Yep. Nimbar's memory of the moment would be a little more strained. He'd be having trouble. He'd say, yeah, we were fighting, and then we managed to overtake him, and I sealed off his magic. And you're like, yeah, but what about the barbarian that chopped the head? And Nimbar's like, that sounds right, but I don't really remember it, you know what I mean? The Nimbar sort of represents the players before they found this knowledge out, so you still have both sides of that coin to see the full effect. I figure it gives John a fun edge he can play with.
Yeah. You remember Mastra, right? And the weave being squiffy?
I mean, I remember using the weave. We got a hold of him, and then we used that to kind of rip the weave from him. Now, does Nimbar remember Alana?
Sorry, does Nimbar remember what now?
The barbarian.
No,
No, okay.
that's the thing. Nimbar is meant to represent the players as they were 2 sessions ago.
Right.
You all want to know who was missing, now you do. Apparently Sardior kills one of you.
Alec will ask Rhea about Alara in the different world, if she remembers her or remembers them.
Because Rhea to blink a few times, not a name she recognizes. She does give you a quick explanation of how things went for her world.
In that, when I started out on this adventure, when I went to Baldur's Gate, I was hoping to find heroes to help me get into Elturel. What I found were darkened reflections of each and every one of you, and they were more than happy to go into hell. But they did not help Elturel. They sought to pillage, to steal, and to make the realm their own through insanity of crazed of evil mortal.
She goes on to clarify that she managed to find a number of soldiers, a number of people who stood up with them, including the one that you all called Dusty. She was quick to find his name was Straken, as the Dusty persona never came up in her world. They didn't give a crap who he was. They literally told him, you work for us now, so we don't care. Come along. No kindness from no kindness from Flummonoxus that Fulminoxus had displayed at one point to at least find out his name. No. Oh, pardon me. Rhea had no trouble taking his loyalty for her own. Together with a group of soldiers and a few others, they made their way across the face of Avernus, pretty much with a story that mimics your own. Though they lost most of their compatriots along the way, and it was a hard fight. She doesn't go into too much details about the cataclysmic endings of hers, however, just confirming that, yeah, they went through a similar walk. Though around that moment, she would look to the party, lift up a brow and ask a very simple question.
You say you met with Zariel, you redeemed her, and you saved Elturel? Did you really save Elturel?
Well, I mean, we sent it back to where it should be. The people were back in the Sword Coast. The city was... I mean, we were there for like, what, an hour or so maybe before we dove back in to get Dusty back, but people were back on the Sword Coast and we're already talking about rebuilding.
Seems to bring something of a tear to Rhea's eye as you recount. She gives a nod and looks over at the ocean, the cold, unmoving ocean of the 8th layer.
I was too late to save my home. I did everything I could, pushed as hard as we could, but we were defeated in the end and had to flee. And I know by now, Elturel would certainly have fallen, dragged into the abyss, without anyone left to save it. But we had a title, something we were holding on to. If we ever found heroes strong enough to save that home, that's who we were truly looking for. Unfortunately, we didn't find them. Not until now. We would have called them our champions of Dawn. But unfortunately, it looks like they never came. But I'd like to give that title to all of you. Because you saved Elturel, you did the impossible. And without a doubt, you are that city's champions of Dawn.
It's a pretty good name. I'm sorry that you you couldn't save your Elturel.
Oh shoot, that's the wrong hero. Open. Rhea gives a slow nod, looks towards the demonic Zariel, then back towards the group, and admits that the long plan was to get Zariel back to see if she had the power to bring back all that she had destroyed. And then she'd consider giving her back the sword, redeeming her, but moot points now, given that their world seems to be an echo of a shadow of your own.
Maybe when we conclude this and the worlds are put back where they should and time Iwami wibbly wobbly reasserts itself, maybe you won't be too late.
That's pretty much it for Rhea, as she passes on a legendary title to the team. If you want more details of her story, you can more than certainly pry and ask specific questions about specific moments. I'll gladly tell you. I actually have their entire story done out because I kind of had to. They're NPCs, after all, that are relatively important, but she doesn't go into any further detail off the top of her head than what I've already brought out.
I think I'm good for now. I'll maybe have a think in some points and ask a question, but I think that's... I won't pry just now after that. You gotta take these things slow.
Like I said, Rhea comes from the world where there were no heroes to save Elturel. Actually, she comes from the world where it was the worst of you guys. You kind of nuked the place on her. But I mean, like I said, that makes up like 2% of all the versions of you. All the other ones were good. I took the exact opposite of how you all went through hell, and I'm like, what would they look like? Wow, that's evil. It's like, wow, this is a really good team that went through hell. Really nice people. This is nice. I can use this. Because like I said, not one moment as you strode through hell, no matter how many times I attempted, messed around, or just straight up tried to cheat you, the team always stuck to the higher road despite the pain. So, you know, that's a big thumbs up. There were a few moments I just kicked you right in the teeth. It felt so good, because the book told me to do it. Oh my. Okay, I've had my fun.
I'm glad you had fun, Alan. We're all emotionally scarred.
It was a good time.
As unusual as it is for Jade to do, He will try and bring comfort to Rhea by walking up to her, putting a hand on her shoulder, and saying, "We deal with gods and have traveled time. It may not yet be too late to save yours, for we may be able to go back in time and stop ourselves from rampaging through your timeline."
Rhea gives a bit of a nod and smiles somewhat towards Jade.
You may have a fact, my friend. For where I've lived 25 years at least, I think you all have maybe hit one. Already the timelines don't align. Perhaps there's some truth to what you're saying. You may yet be able to earn that title a second time.
That seems to make Rhea a little more happy.
And plus, at this time, we know Bellamy would be trying everything in her power to make Rhea happy.
Well, I figure my end joke was going to be that she'd just pop up from below deck after everyone was done asking questions and stuff with, like, 4 bottles heading over to Rhea. "We got this! We're going to have a good flight, it's okay!" Party City, essentially, to try to cheer up the mood a little.
Yeah.
But this
Is
is
anyone
literally your calm before the storm. Oh, sorry, Dean.
Oh no worries. I was just gonna say, I just was picturing us fighting our old selves, and I can't help but think about Omni-Man from Unbreakable. I don't want to say too much in case nobody's watched it.
Oh, I haven't watched. I want to, but I just don't have the time. But it looks really good.
Oh, there's a certain bit. He's just like he's fighting someone, and he stops. He goes, "Think."
Oh yes, the meme.
Yeah, that. Just imagine that. Just their high level selves finding lower level evil versions of ourselves.
Bump into the level 5s right when they're about to head into hell. No. Oh my. So consider this your calm before the storm. This is if the players have anything left up their sleeves or anything they want to do. And you also have your final decision on the fate of your ship. Either take it with you or break through the edge wall to get in.
Yeah. I'm not actually casting these. I'm just making sure everything works right.
Pull the dead.
Oh, whoops, that's the wrong one.
So, to give everybody a quick shot at, in case you have any questions or want to find out any more information about the Dark Time,
Okay.
I figure we can
Alright.
take a good 15-minute break around now. Come back about 12:15.
Right. Yeah. Sounds good.
Perfect. Alrighty, so I'll be back at about 12:15. Gives us a couple extra minutes to get a quick snacky poop. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, by all means. Otherwise, you'll need to make a decision on how you're going to enter Kintyre. If you're going to bust through the wall itself, losing your ship in the process, or if you're going to make an assault on the main entrance. You do have quite the army on board, especially with that nasty Judicator avatar of Mechanus traveling with.
Oh, this feels like the point in like a Final Fantasy game where it's like point of no return.
Yep, that's why you get a calm before the storm. DM is totally nodding his head to that one. It, like I said, it's partially my reference to Chrono Trigger, but it's also a thumbs up for keeping this ship alive this far, is I give you the opportunity, if you want to get rid of it now, to do something else with it. But, I mean, it's your ship, it's your boat.
Just give me like 20 hours. I need to go and play in the Blitzball League until I go any further.
Hey, you just did a pyramid, that counts. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause the game. Hopefully you can still do stuff on your side there while you're messing around, John.
Yeah.
But don't go chalk and grasp on the DM just because he's being cruel.
Yeah, no, I'm just, as I said, I just, like, all the numbers were off, so I'm just adding effects to make everything line up properly.
That's fair. Your character gave me like 5 pop-ups when I went to import them, and I'm like, I'll use defaults. I don't know. This is weird. Wizards have too many things. Too many things.
Thankfully, I understand the background enough to go through and edit it myself.
Alrighty, everyone. I'll see you all in about 15.
So,
All right. See ya.
Thank you, Doki. I am back.
Bien revenu.
Get some music going. Audio.
Uh,
We give it a few. Had to take extra time to get my mic set back up. I've had it on a boom arm for so long, having it back down. Weird.
Fair. Over the day, I am gonna make one change to my character's spell mastery.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't think about that before casting it, so... Before casting Silmaricum, so the copy is still gonna have Misty Step.
That's fair. Lets them poof around a little at least.
Yeah. And I did get everything sorted up. So if you wanted to delete all those spells
Okay, I'll give
from
it
the chat log. Yeah. Oh, we do need to remember Alicata Wheel.
Yep. I didn't see you go on mute, so I'm assuming you're still there, Dan.
Oh, I went on mute and came back and it came off mute.
Oh shit. Well, I was gone. When I left, you were off mute. When I come back, you're off mute. So in my eyes, you were never on, right?
Although I do have 2 questions.
Yeah.
42.
No, John, that's not the answer. But you might.
Then your
like
question is wrong.
But you might like the answer. From Nimbar's point of view, he's been here the entire time. So does that mean he also got to take part in the learning of Eyes of Mistra?
I thought he had learned that from a different source a while back, though.
No, he did not get it. Isaac was the only one to get it, but if he was
But-
here, that means he had the chance to join the session when Alec
Dean,
and
Yeah, it's...
Melody learned it. So
Okay, yeah. I was
assassin
just
did-
thinking, there's no restriction why he couldn't. I was just... Yeah, no, that's no problem. I was literally going
Well-
over that one like it shouldn't be a problem.
Oh no, because we did a change in timeline thing, so I was just trying to clarify, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
it's a nice excuse for John to switch back to Nimbar.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Try not to spend
I
all
told
those
you-
spells in one dungeon.
I told you you'd like the answer, John.
Yeah. Okay, so now I need to pick a spell for it. I think I'm gonna go counter spell for the Eyes of Mystra.
My other question is something for it doesn't have to be today. It can be something that looked at in the future. My infiltrator's key. Kind of forgot about it. Have I ever awokened it or got it up to exalted? I just kind of forgot it and just been using its base dormant abilities.
Well, that's the problem. Your other stats are so nice, we kind of haven't been using it and kind of forgot about it. I'll take a look at it, see
Right.
how it's looking for next week. Fire me a quick PM if you would with the info in it.
Okay, yeah.
Now, just keep in mind, an at-will spell means it just doesn't cost you anything to drop it, right?
Yeah.
No spell
Yes.
slots. That's the important fact. So you get a free...
Yeah. I still have to have it prepared though.
Oh, yeah.
But that's 100% worth it. There is a way to do this. I just need to remember how. Aha! That's how we do it.
Wizard abilities.
The under details, spell preparation mode. Change that to innate spell casting.
I like hitting things with swords. Whack. Something must have come up with the puppy on Dean and Jillian.
Probably.
No, not quite much of a puppy anymore now.
He's still a puppy.
Hmm.
Sorry, guys. Dean's just in the bathroom.
Oh, alrighty.
I'm a slow eater, so it makes it hard for me to try to eat.
No worries. I grabbed a quick slice of pizza.
Appropriate.
Was it Chicago deep dish?
No, just black pepperoni. I know it's ironic that that was not the inspiration, I always decided ages ago that the meal would be death eating at Chicago deep dish pizza.
So to just fill some time, I just wanted you guys to know that if I'm a little bit quiet today, it's because I'm so tired. I helped my friends move yesterday.
Oof.
And it was, yeah, I'm also too old, but I said it was going to be the last time I helped them move, like help anyone move, really. But they had a hard time. They were kind of forced out of their apartment. Not necessarily rent evicted, but like I think somebody, like the owners, wanted their kids to move into the house or something like that. They'd been there for 7 years or more.
Oh wow.
And they have a young child, and they barely got approved for a mortgage. Like they looked for ages to try to find a house, and they weren't really in a financial spot to buy one, but they didn't really have a choice. So I was like, okay, well, you're not going to be obviously not going to be spending more money just for movers, like. So yeah, me and my sister and like their parents and some aunt and uncles I think were there too, and some of their friends, and it was so much stuff. Her grandmother had just died about 2 weeks ago, so they were away in Cape Breton as well for a period of time, so they didn't get as much done as they wanted to do before they moved.
I simply must interject that they've known them been moving for 6 months. So
Not 6 months. They found out in December.
all right, 4 months.
Yeah, they could have done more packing for sure before all of this, but it was a tight turnaround. I only put the offer in like I think less than a month ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I have to point out, I'm insulted. As the oldest person here, you're saying you're too old? Ow.
Oh god, man, we're all too old to move people, man.
Except for Dean. Dean's under 30.
Oh,
He's the only one. But not for long. In May, he's going to be 30.
Ooh,
Yep.
that's not long
The
away.
big-
I'm going to be 31 here in a day.
Oh, happy early birthday, John.
All right, yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations, happy early birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your birthday, gave you back Nimbar.
The best present. Look, no. The birthday present was actually Isaac's
Emma?
equipment for my simulacrum.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Guys, I just want you to know I merely rustled a packet of crisps. And Fergus came bounding in from the other room.
Dean, can I try one of those?
Yeah, come and get one.
But what if you brought one for me because you have a wireless headset and I'm plugged in? Maybe a piece of my orange.
I don't want a bit of orange. I've had this smoothie and there was broccoli in the leftovers. I've had my fruit and vegetables for the day, Jillian. Why would you even think that's a trade?
Nature's candy. Oh my.
Thank you.
You've got two cookies here as well. We might not be able to have any because I can't get them. Oh, like that. Well, that's just, who opens crisps like that? That's insanity, is what that is. I refuse.
When you say Chris, you do mean chips, right?
Yeah, he needs potato chips.
All right. That's what I thought. I just
The
wanted to
other
make
side
sure.
of the water thing. We tell there was actually a buddy of mine, his nephew was visiting, this was years ago, and he asked the little kid late at night, he's like, "Hey buddy, you want some chips?" And the little kid looks at his mother and goes, "Mummy," and she just looks down, "He means crisps, dear." Because, you know, it's like 10 o'clock at night saying, "You want some french fries?" Essentially is what they asked the kid.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still say yes to that, just so we're clear.
Oh yeah, give me a poutine that late at night, I'm a happy man.
Oh, yeah. Now I want poutine. I guess I'm going to the store after D&D.
Sundays are usually my grocery day.
Foul. These are absolutely foul.
What are foul?
I don't know what he was expecting.
I like to get weird crisps from the import aisle, like the weird, like the world foods aisle. So these are honey butter chip. They're
Ooh.
from somewhere. Don't know where they're from.
That sounds like a bad plan.
They're a little
It's-
bit like sweet and salty, like popcorn, but like not as good.
Absolutely disgusting. The crab crisps so far are king. I think they're probably Korean, but that is shockingly bad.
I was at Walmart and got cucumber chips the other day.
How
Ew.
are they?
Ew.
Ew, it's right.
Oh, that's no good.
Are they nasty?
Cucumber doesn't taste of anything. Like, how could they flavour crisps with it?
What was the other one? It was
Cucumbers do taste like bad.
Yeah.
No, cucumbers are good. Cucumber
Someday-
flavored chips. Mm-mm.
Someday we will get John to eat veggies.
I eat veggies. I'm just kind of particular about the ones.
I'm sorry, Dad, what were you saying?
There was another flavor, tomato and something, and it was disgusting too.
Oh, like what is wrong with you people? Why would you buy those?
Magic
Oh.
masala is actually really good if you get a chance to try them.
Which one?
What is it?
Magic masala?
It's a Walmart one.
Yeah, I don't know what
Is that
that.
Walmart? I thought Lay's made them too.
Maybe.
Yeah, but they're at Walmart. I've seen them there, but I don't know what that flavor was. So I'm like, as much as I'd like to try a new flavor, I don't know what that is, so I'm not touching it.
It's like curry.
Mm. It's like when they came in with the barbecue chicken Lay's potato chips. You were like, "What the hell?" And you try it, and it's like, "Okay, these are really good." A roast chicken? I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, roast
The
chicken.
roasted chicken, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, you get it
Yeah.
at first, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Okay, that's really good."
It's not
Those spice-
something that would eat like all the time, but it is a nice treat.
The spicy ketchup chips are really good too. If you guys ever get a chance, I think they're Miss Vicky's.
Oh,
Pretty good.
So, stuffing flavor, chicken stuffing flavored chips at work.
That's rude. I want them.
You know, it was a really good type of chip that Lay's had out for a very brief period of time. They made like the sweet chili heat Doritos, but they put it in potato chips. That was really good. I really like those.
That would be good. I love Dorito chili heat. Really good.
I have been curious about the Lay's all dress, if it tastes appropriate or if
Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not anything to write home about. Like I've had better all dressed chips before, but they're not. They definitely taste like all dressed chips.
Okay.
I wonder.
I don't know why, but I didn't have faith in them.
All zesty Morden and dressed all over.
Wonder what you would make of prawn cocktail crisps. So I've not seen.
cocktail chip.
Yeah, I've not seen that flavor over here.
Nope.
No.
Can confirm.
Never heard of that before.
I mean, I tried them. Don't get me wrong, but
You don't have you get smoky bacon crisps over here. I've not seen
Yeah.
them.
yep, we got
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
That's a delicious one.
I mean, we call them chips.
It's just
Sorry, I
going to
had
be
to
a
make
point
it
of
quick.
contention. But I've refused to change certain words.
Yeah,
'Cause
and that's fine. You're allowed
it's-
to be wrong.
I think
Oh.
we just get used. You just do the Google Translate in your head.
Yeah, it always like every time you say it, I like
No,
stop
I-
for a second to process.
You know what? It's easy for him to say this because when he talks about the Google Translate, he means me because he will say that to like a random person, like if he's ordering food or like talking about something, and people will look at him like he's crazy, and I'll have to be the one. The burden's on me, Dean. It's not on you.
No, it's not that hard. Okay, right? You're part of the Empire, so you know about the UK. The Queen is your state. Like, it's not that difficult to pick up in some other words. It's watch a TV program and you'll get it.
Being on the same token, it's not hard for you to get on other words.
But I
and
already
adapt
know.
to
I
your
already
new
know the
environment.
words. I already know the words, but it's my job to expand everyone else's horizons.
No, it really isn't.
As I've taken it upon myself, when I'm claim
Doesn't
the kingdom
mean
of
it's your
Nova
burden.
Scotia as my own, everyone will have to change anyway. So I'm just future-proofing you guys.
I'll give you a warning, man. Last time, a good chunk of the populace in Nova Scotia, generations ago, were in Scotland and got bullied by a Scotsman. It didn't end well.
Bonnie Prince Charlie wasn't a Scotsman; he was a Frenchman.
Oh, there's that one too, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like you said, the Scottish are contentious people. I mean,
yeah.
even if our own comes, I'm in charge now to be like, my ass you are. Oh my.
So easy. You do what everyone else does when they seize power: bribe your base and blame someone else.
The honest truth is, if you make a good price on liquor, you'll be doing well. That's it.
That reminds me. Yesterday I was watching an anime, The Daily Life of an Immortal something or other, and one of the episodes they call up like past, like not rulers but like people who were in charge, and it was just variations of Trump.
Oh god.
They're like, that's fake news. So I'm like, oh my god. we will build a wall to keep our spiritual energy in, and we'll make this earth great again. I was like, oh my god.
You know, he was popular if he went that far across the water that quick. My god. I actually like the British ones with the puppetry that they do. They had some fun ones.
Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about. BritBox or something like that?
I think so. I can't quite remember. I think it's BritBox. It's on BritBox, or I don't know. Alrighty, so
Back to it.
imaginary politics now instead of real world politics about imaginary people. Oh my.
Okay.
So, you're all on a boat with a bunch of NPCs having a big old party. You've got some information of what went on in their world and how it all went south so fast. You've also gained a title, as the team finally has one. It's been 19 levels. The DM's like, fine, I'll give you one.
all those Let's Play streams and podcasts will having like a name within like the first 5 levels. It's like you scrubs.
we don't decide our own name. We wait for one to be given.
Our party has no name. Our party needs no name.
And admittedly, if someone's ever like, yeah, well, what did your team do? And you start telling them, they'd be like, 8th layer of hell, holy shit.
Why would we need it? We're just those guys. Like people say them in Shudder. That's the best kind of name. It's a name without a name. We're like motherfucking Baba Yaga here.
Oh, that's not far from the truth. Most of hell is afraid of you now. Oh my. So, with a day to go, any questions for the NPCs, or should I just jump into tomorrow?
Also, Dean, Jillian, you guys weren't here for it, but we did go over. Thanks to Dan, we went over, and Nimbar does have the Eyes of Mister because he was here the entire time.
That's good.
Yeah, I took Counterspell because it's an amazing spell.
Yeah. Well, you can change it. I think your chosen spell. I think you can change after a long rest. I think, but that's a good one. May as well get the use out of it before they bring in the what they say is a new and improved, revised monsters, where they don't cast spells but cast spell-like abilities.
Oh, yeah. I like spellcasters still. They'll show up. I'll just make sure there's 2 of them. I cast Counterspell. I cast Counterspell. I cast Counterspell. I cast Counterspell. I Counterspell.
Well, no,
Counterspell and Counterspell. Ah!
You
did
have to, though, because it's a spell-like ability, but it's not. Doesn't it's not under their spellcasting trait,
Yeah,
so it can't
I'll-
be counterspelled.
Gonna be honest, I did that for a few monsters that I built custom that you fought because otherwise it would have been a bit too cheese for you to win, you know what I mean? It's like, I use big boom attack, and the wizard says, no you don't. Enemy curses a little bit because they already used their reaction earlier. No, it
Right, Fergus, I'll give you one of these crisps, but you're not going to like it, so, you know.
One day forward. It's now tomorrow today. Even though we thought it was yesterday.
Well, I had a question
Yeah.
about Zariel's flagship. Did they blow it up? Did they keep it?
That one would get you a bit of a response from Rhea.
In the end, it was just Straken and myself who had managed to make it that far. We picked up the sword of El Toro, and Lulu, our dear friend, convinced us we should try giving Zariel one more chance, but I fear his experiences through hell may have hardened him too much, and he went in the night while we were sleeping, confronted her himself on her ship, and their battle tore it apart. Lulu didn't want to see him slay her, said it would ruin him as a person. And he didn't get through the final shot, unfortunately.
Rhea takes a moment and looks towards Flux and gives a nod.
Your darkened counterpart, as it would appear, was able to deflect the last shot. And after that, things went very south for us. Because they decided if they could take Zariel, they'd be the rightful rulers of Avernus. We managed to escape, but it came at great cost.
So no, Zariel's flagship nuked in the fight.
Did you kill all the warlords?
Rhea slams a fist into her open palm and nods her head. You know, repeats that 2 or 3 times with the "oh yeah" glance.
Even Maggie?
Well, maybe not Maggie.
Huh. So Straken took the blade, and then he became. Malik will glance over to the adjudicator. The adjudicator.
Well, he took up the blade. When we found it, he was able to pick it up, but he couldn't draw it from the sheath. Apparently his anger or his hatred bound him too hard, but when he took Zariel on, he found a way. She's never told me to this day what he said to her, but it shook her to her core. But no, that's not how we got Judicator. That was after they cut him down, when there was almost nothing left of him. He reached out one last time after we escaped, one further layer down. And McKennis decided to add his weight to the wager. Unfortunately, the Straken I knew, the one I cared for, he's gone. He's just not the same anymore.
So he took on Zariel, got a power up when he took on Zariel, got his ass kicked by the evil party members, and then in the second layer of hell, got another power up to Judicator. That's the whole backstory.
Our evil party Robocop him?
Essentially.
Jeez. So, Gargoth, is he present in your timeline?
Rhea gives a rather angry glance off towards one side and gives a shake of her head.
The second I made myself out of El Tiro and started to go towards the plain, I frisbeed that mother right across the plains, right into the water. I don't give a crap what happened to him.
Well, I mean, you handled that better than we did.
Your Zariel gives you a slight elbow in the chest as you say that, you know, like the oof, no.
uh,
But yes, that does confirm that Judicator was, in fact, Dusty.
did Ray ever explain to us why, like, Archdevil Zariel is with her?
When things went south, they went south fast. And as she would quote,
My enemy's enemy quickly became my friend.
your evil counterparts made quick work of the three of them. So they made an uneasy alliance, and by Zariel's strength were able to get to the second lair, as she still had authority. But they cut down Straken and Lulu in the process. You know, just to underline that they're actually evil versions of yourselves, they cut down Lulu.
So there's a blood price that must be paid.
Admittedly, you've already, like, nuked one or two entire groups of them. There was that time you crashed their ships. That was pretty cool.
It's not enough. Well, it must be avenged. Okay.
Blood shall flow.
That was really the only things that sprang to mind about their world for me. I'm not too sure what else. Like the big events, what else would?
Dan,
I think.
give me a perception check for Jade. Oh, yeah. The only way I beat you if it's at minimum, you'd think. It's like, what could sneak past Jade? Because, yes, your perception check. Now, is 25 the max out for that? Just making sure.
No, that's the lowest it goes.
Okay, well, that's what I meant with a 2. I wanted to make sure you didn't have, like, well, it bumps to a 35 because of this secondary power since I'm above the water. Like, you've got a lot of good skills with the rogue, so I gotta make sure. It's the way it works. But, in that respect, as you're mentioning this, Jade looks towards Alec and waves a hand and goes, oh no, I had nothing to do with that. I walked away before then. Nodding his head casually as Jade drags an arm around Jade's shoulders. There's a second Jade on the ship, and they snuck up on Jade. They have an arm around Jade's shoulders. And they just waved a hand. I had nothing to do with that.
Actually, I believe that is impossible. Because of my blind sense.
I figured if anyone could do it to Jade, Jade could do it to Jade. So, I mean, we could look that one up for you, Dan. I could check into seeing if he can still stealth past the blind sight. Or you can say Jade's the only thing that could sneak up on Jade.
If you
it's
are able
just
to hear, you are aware of the location of any hidden or invisible creature within 10 feet of you.
1 second here. So it's only within 10 feet?
Yes.
One second here. Aha! Jeremy Crawford does say the blind slate lets you spot an invisible creature in range, but that creature can still try to hide behind something with stealth. So, you notice there's a barrel around his ankles.
Metal Gear Solid is
Exactly. It's the only thing I can think of. But if there was somebody who could sneak up on Dan's character Jade in such a ridiculous manner, and only because Dan rolled a 2, it's going to be Jade. And because of your blind sight, which Jade would also have, Jade would know to sneak up on Jade with a barrel. Out of all the random things I could do. Now, I will be clear, Dan. Jade is not grappled. The other Jade literally draped her arm around his shoulder like, look at this guy. But I figured the only person with the stealth to do it on Jade would be Jade. Because I rolled me some off the cusp, and I was like, does anyone have a passive perception? Alec comes close, but he didn't do it, thank God. So I actually got Jade to sneak up on Jade with a barrel. Interestingly, this duplicate of Jade looks identical to Jade.
I believe Alec would address the situation by saying...
Sorry, real quick question. My apologies. Were you looking at blind sight or blind sense? Because...
Oh, I was looking at blind sight. Blind sense probably lets you see through walls, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I do believe Jade has blind sense, right? Yeah, sense.
Yeah.
Okay, could he just have like snuck, like been clinging to the side of the ship and just jumped over? Or maybe he was...
So he has blind sense, not blind sight?
Yes.
Because blind sight is a lesser ability for the two. Let me see here. Smell.
Yeah, the
hearing.
word. Yeah,
maybe
sorry.
it was within like 30 feet, then just misty stepped.
I can't. I was gonna have him use the different build and go with the assassin rogue for the teleportation, but I can't. You're in hell. If he teleports, he's gonna go random.
Oh,
As cool as I want that to be. You see this, Dan? I have to work so hard just to sneak up on your character here. And I think the only way I can actually do it is Jade in a barrel. Looking at blind sight and blind sense, I think it's Jade in a barrel. That's the only way. He just pops up, puts arm around his shoulder. Hey, buddy. But even then, you could argue you could smell him coming. But the only defense I have is he has the same scent as you, so maybe. I don't know. Regardless, the only person who'd actually sense him at the last second would be Jade. He's whoops everybody else's passive perceptions. It's Jade sneaking, after all. I'm mostly doing this for the lulls, and all of a sudden it's like, shoot, I can't.
I've made them too strong.
Ooh, I know. 10 foot, right? Okay, so he climbed up on top of the top sail and jumped down. Immediately falls to 500 feet, lands right beside Jade. Hello. That could do it. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
There.
That's all I got, guys. That's the best I can do here. And admittedly, if it was Jade sneaking up on Jade, he probably would have thought of all these ins and outs beforehand. He's like, I can climb the sail. He should only have 10 feet. If it's more than 10 feet, I'll take the loss. But no, I'm going to sneak up on me. The ultimate target. Now, as for him draping an arm around Jade's shoulders, Dan, that's entirely up to you. That's one of those, look at this guy moment. You could easily just duck out. He's not trying or doing any rolls or anything clever. He just wanted to sneak up on you.
No, I won't pull away because it's me and me, so me and me can work together to do more me stuff.
Yeah.
Because two of me could steal more.
So many things.
Uh,
Though he does pat you slightly on the shoulder. Do you keep a drink on the right side or the left side? It seems to be the only difference.
In the bag of liquor.
His is on the opposite side of the hip from you. That's the only difference. Which he points out. He's like, I knew it. Look, he has the same as me. Lulu, meanwhile, is just looking at the two of them suddenly very confused.
Alec goes, fucking excuse me now?
He gives a bit of a wave of his hand. He's like, don't worry about it. I was passing through the area, saw your ship, snuck on board for a little drink because I know you've got the good stuff on here. I kind of fell asleep and then you took off. He gives a shrug of his shoulders.
If you're me and you've gone through what I've gone through, that means you have that. And that's all I'm going to say.
He gives a nod, gives a wink, and he says, as it turns out, all of us have. We are what you call an anomaly among the worlds, my friend. We don't change. We're never different. I mean, it was fun running through hell and beating the snot out of some bad guys with a crew like you, but really, really dark. But I'm not that evil, so I had trouble finishing the deed and I just sort of left. However, he smirks, when some pompous, powerful, godly being is like, hey, join up with me. We can go and do stuff together. Well, it's a free ride, and then after that, we all ditched him, every one of us. Because out of all the shadow duplicates, out of all the copies of yourselves and everything that you've seen thus far, Jade has been the only one that hasn't shown up. And now you know why. As a fun point, I picked one player whose character would be identical no matter what version of this they played, and I thought actually that would fit Jade because he's such a wild, loose cannon.
Is it because he's chaotic neutral? Like you can't be like have a shadow of something that doesn't cast a shadow, huh?
Exactly. From day one, I wanted to have a character who'd fit that bill, and Dan, congratulations, here's a point of inspiration, just for you. I'll make it selfish inspiration, just for you, without any penalties for gaining it. Using it's always a tricky thing, of course, but it's a freebie gain.
Okay, so now I'm sitting on 3 of those.
Oof. Can they stack? I gotta double check. Yeah, instead what I'll do when you use yourself as inspiration, you get 1 freebie now instead. No negatives to it. I can't let you stack too many. That'd be bad for me in a boss fight. Said the DM who's been ruined once or twice by those things. Let me give you this scrap of power. The rogue's like, oh, wait, you wait and see. But it would appear you have a copy of Jade chilling around for a few minutes. He makes it very clear he's not intending to stick around. He's going to be leaving shortly. Like you said, he was trying to steal a drink and leave, and he kind of messed up because he fell asleep.
I mean, I know it's all about the thrill for you, Jade, but I mean, you could have just asked.
Where's the fun in that?
I was about to say that. So you hear that in stereo.
Did you come here when Negadusty summoned all the other versions?
Yep. Exactly what happened. We just all said, forget that, and kind of walked away. A few of us ended up going here and there, and he reached out and he tried to set us somewhat a deal because he wanted to send a group of us in here after you all. So I said sure, because, you know, he was stupid and let me go. I love it when they don't pay attention, Jade says with a big smile, which probably comes no surprise. He took a free ride and now he's enjoying the 8th lair.
Dean, he's not slept yet, has he?
No, he's being a knob.
What a knob.
It's just a quick Fergus update. He's hassling me. It's fucking covered in drill, you clatty bastard.
Now, Copy Jade isn't sticking around for very long. He has his own ship in a bottle, though it's not nearly as big or glamorous as this one, and it actually has to go on the water, so he'll be taking that. But he pretty much just stopped by to be a ship disturber and see himself.
Can you tell us anything about Negadusty operation? Like,
well, he's taken over a crap ton. Most of the warlords banded themselves together under one flag. Pretty sure you all know Mad Maggie. And she's making a good fight against them, but they're losing ground fast. He's pretty much got it in the bag at this point, which is half the reason I didn't want to be involved. Kinda boring when you play the game on easy mode. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's got a small army and a bunch of weapons. Zerial's flagship, he's got like maybe 40 of those. His own ships, this one here, you know, with that front blasty thing. I'm not even sure how that works. Did you figure that out? He says to the other Jade who, you know. I didn't get to fly this one for very long, though. The other guys took it. They're like, whoa, this is ours. And I found that a little cheap, so, you know, I don't hang out with them anymore. He's not far. Pretty sure he was intending on... He mentioned something about some gateway that he saw before when he was looking for his swords ages ago. I don't know. I wasn't paying much attention at that part. That's where I ditched off from the team before then. Remember those Archers of Ulamog? The DM sort of leans in on the mic on that one.
Yeah.
Was he successful in the body transfer?
Oh. Probably. Don't know, buddy. That one I do not know. I know he was looking for the body. Did he find it?
Yes, we saw him with the body.
Ah, you know more than me then. I left before then. Shortly after you all jumped planes, and we had the opportunity, we got at a dodge. I mean, it's one thing for somebody to be as strong as all of you are. It's another thing to see one version of all of you besting every other version of all of you. Needless to say, we know when not to fight, and that's certainly one of them. So congratulations, you're the winners. Jade even gives a clap and a laugh. Pragmatic as always.
If he transferred bodies, then his anti-magic field must be able to be turned off.
That was caused by the swords being combined together.
Right. And he's looking for his swords, so he can do that again?
Oh,
Or
no,
already has them?
he's got a shiny pair of swords. He's ready to kill with those things.
Right. I know we had like a pair of swords and such like that. Did we just kind of give up on trying to figure them out?
Well, it's not necessarily that we gave up. It was just we were getting the impression that, like, what didn't Alan start downplaying them and saying, like, it wasn't.
The swords were originally something Dusty looked for, back in Hell. You did help him find both of them, but they were both damaged and depowered. With his own strength and his own ki, he was able to basically restore them to a working, functioning style. And when he passed, he gave his swords to you all. You've also found a couple alternate copies of his blades, damaged, corroded, or evil in how they were designed. So you have a few spare copies of it. For a while, Jillian was playing Flux as a two-wielder, but there came a moment where she could decide how is she going to progress. She can keep on with Dusty's memory, use two swords, get them repowered, and have them be very powerful weapons, or she can go her own way, and Jillian ultimately decided to have Flux wield a Big Zweihandler into combat and do some serious damage.
Right.
They are, if
Okay.
anything, a figment of a previous campaign now. They were something that were sought after heavily, but now they're just swords.
Do you have them in my bag of holding, by the way?
Yeah, we were
Okay.
going to get Smiler to restore their power.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. So I know we were focused on them for a while, and then I couldn't remember what we ended up doing with them. That's cool.
As far as MacGuffins were considered, they were replaced by the Zord of Zariel. The DM goes blunt on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get at. Like, I think he had originally planned on them being like, I don't know, maybe Flex's ultimate weapon, but it just, things changed and it just didn't end up working out that way.
Yep. Held the hand out and said, if you want to go this path, it's ready for you. Or you can do your own. And Jillian's like, I got this badass sword. It's like, all right.
Put it in my path. How was I to say no?
Yep. Big, shiny, and powerful. Just destroy everything in your wake. Not to say an opportunity like that won't arise for the entirety of the party again in the near future, but you know, I always give the options to change things around, especially as you're getting up at the very end of the level up game. Because that's how it goes. So, team has to make a decision. Because, unless anybody has any other funky questions for Jade, who doesn't have too much information, they split off from Evil Dusty quite a long time ago. All the Jades did. They even point out you might bump into another one of us. They'll try to sneak up on Jade. That's half the fun. We can catch him off guard. And Jade's probably thinking, yeah right, I saw you coming. Blindsight. But if nobody has any questions, he'd be exiting. Very short visit from him.
Wait, before he leaves, everyone should check their pockets and bags.
Everybody except Jade would be 1 gold piece shorter.
Fine, he can have it.
And as Alec is patting his own pockets, or Flux takes a peek or all that, you would see the other Jade rolling a gold coin across his knuckles. You know that trick, right? Just because. It's a little more fun that way, because Dan, if you wanted Jade to do it, he could. We know he could.
I don't think I've got any questions for not Nega Jade, because he's not Nega. Get Mirror Jade, Alt Shift Jade.
Now, Jade, the second, just because you're the second one here, you take care of yourself. Make sure you don't get into too much trouble.
He'd give a laugh and even pat Nimbar on the shoulder. You too, buddy. Watch out for the high ceiling door frames. They get me right in the forehead sometime. He'd then take a half second and look towards Jade 1 and give a nod and say, "You get a chance. See if you can get that forge of yours, that sword of yours reforged." The DM remembers how to talk. Oof. If you can get your hands on a couple more of Zariel's wings, feathers, you could use them in the same way to empower that blade. Make it a little stronger. Indirect reference to your sword, Honeysickle. You know, might be able to get that thing up to the +3, essentially. That's more or less where he's hinting. Just find a good enough blacksmith, my friend. That should do the job. Personally, I used devil fangs on mine, demon fangs and all mine. Worked out really well. But now he's all cranky and stuff, so I think feathers would do him better. Might make him happier. But that's pretty much it for Copy Jade, who jumps out on a small boat that seems to pilot itself as he waves a goodbye at the party. And my phone goes off. That was
Bye,
just Itchy
Jade.
chiming
Oh, wait. Do any of you mirror people, do you have a Modron? What did you do with him?
in. Jade looks back, tilts his head, gives it a shake, just says, "Nope, never had one of those." And when you look back towards your ship, you do indeed see your little Modron feller. Parked. Seated on the edge over beside Judicator. Apparently finding a mechanical brother. Give me 1 second, it's rare I get 2 rings in a row.
No worries.
Hey, I am back. Sorry, phone rings twice. I gotta answer. I got family in the hospital for the next little bit, but the way it goes.
Oh, I hope everything's mostly okay. Like, obviously, they're in the hospital. It's not perfect.
Things are getting there. Thanks to COVID, my sister-in-law delivered a baby at 27 weeks, so it's in ICU and all that, and it's been a fun time. So I just keep my phone running all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love this. But things are going good. Baby's doing good. All that sort of stuff. And it was
That's
just,
good.
oh, the phone hung up, so I called again. It's like, oh, come on. Oh, well, these things happen.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't an emergency. That's what makes me happy. No news is
Yeah,
good
that's
news.
the important thing.
But, yes, back to the fun as Jade 2 casually drifts off on his boat while Song 2 by Blur plays in the background. Woo-hoo! He's having himself a good time.
Huh. Well, I mean, that's comforting, I guess. At least there's some semblant stability and the other things. Well, I mean, I realise the irony saying stability around Jade, but I think you know what I mean.
I never had to work so hard to sneak up on someone. I'm like, the only reason I can make these corrections as I say these things are happening is because Jade knows. Sneak up in a barrel or jump down from the top rope. I'm gonna leave it up to the time, people's memory for which one it actually was and not pick one of the two, but I think either work, technically. Metal Gear Solid, yeah, or just, Captain Jack Sparrow. Either way, maybe Jade did both since there's two split timelines combined now or some stuff. Either one's pretty cool.
Turns out there was actually two Jades there, and they both left together.
The whole time. They just kept switching spots like a magic trick. Nobody ever sees the difference because they're too quick with the sleight of hand. Except for Jade. Jade would have saw Jade and Jade. Definitely.
Sleight of hand or
and
sleight of
nothing.
body?
And I'm sorry, Dan, what was that?
I said it's a stealth, right?
Yeah.
One jumps out of stealth, the other goes into stealth, but do it so fast it just looks like he's just standing there.
Oh god. One Jade just pops up. We'll take you to the candy shop. Other one pops forward. Oh god. Old school 90s right there. Alright.
We're going to Candy Mountain, Charlie. Candy Mountain.
Well, if you want to call it Candy Mountain, you can, but it's probably not that pleasant. As you go to a giant iceberg in the distance. A very large, mountainous one, wrapped around easily about 5 kilometers across. You can see it in the distance before you make it there. But the question remains, has the party decided if you're going to do a frontal assault on the main entrance, or crash your ship through?
I'm torn. Because the meta part of me is like, we're past the point of no return. Let's fucking give the ship a glorious end. Bosh! Right through the wall. Because we're not going back. But we've taken it this far.
The ship can be replaced, people can't, so I think we should probably bash it through the wall.
I get the sentiment. I don't know that this ship could be replaced, but I agree with you, like, fundamentally. You have the right idea.
Yeah, like, trust me, I don't want to lose the ship either, but like,
No, I know. I'm not fighting for it. I just mean, like, I don't think it's as simple as saying
Yeah.
the ship can be replaced. It can't, but we don't really have a lot of options, so we might just have to make the hard decision and go with Dean's bish bash bosh plan.
It's generous, calling it a plan. see
God,
see
I don't know.
that? See that wall over there? Yep. We're going through it. How? It's just like that Anakin meme they had me talk to Padme. We're going to be clever, right? Right?
I love that meme.
Yeah,
Dan, what do you think?
I just don't know. I know I'm not Dan, but I know I suggested it, but I'm not sure.
It's a hard choice, isn't it, Dan?
Oh no, Daniel gets it, and yeah, through the wall, no problem. You know, this is the best option. Jade, this is my ship. No, I'm not giving it up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See, John is this is the ship. I don't want to give it up. But Nimbar would be the. It's a ship. We can replace the ship.
Flux and Jillian are in agreement. Neither one of us want to give it up, but we are willing to if that's what we have to do.
What do we know about the gate? Like, because it's been a while. I know it's like heavily guarded, but do we know what is roughly what's there?
Given the size speed of your ship, you could take an hour to examine with it. Just flying around and taking a look for the enemies.
Oh, like try and spot them. Distance. Yeah, we can. May as well. That could help inform our decision if we could like see it's like if it's like a Pacific Rim sized version of Negadusty or something, we'd be like, oh, okay, nope.
As you fly around, you see a Pacific Rim-sized Megadusty with 2 dusty pilots, both in sync. DM goes all in on that one.
That becomes a big can of nope, not happening.
Well, let me skip forward the hour. As you fly around with the ship, you might be curious. Examining over the summit, the highest area, you can quickly see ice devils and pit fiends standing guard outside the main entrance, and the pathway leading up towards them wrought with enemies of singular compositions, and a small battalion at the very base of the mountain.
Well, that's just what we see. I imagine that there's got to be more hiding. Right. How? What do you guys think? Like, how would it go? Like, we zoom down there in the ship, jump off, and try and tear into these guys. Put the ship in the bottle, run into the tunnel. Do we know, like, the wall is like, do we try to figure out to remember how to talk? Is the wall like magically indestructible? Like, would we be like cave in the tunnel behind us, or?
Oh, you could definitely cave it in. It's nothing too major. Lulu would actually speak up at this point. A big guy over there, he's in the same sort of decision as you. He's thinking, you blast right through it, it's going to crumble all of the tunnels, and it should be pretty good. Cut all right off, they won't be able to get to us.
Cause it seems like it sounds like we want to go through the gate because we've got some strong feelings on the ship. So does that sound good to everyone? Just
oh, the
zoom
ship
in.
itself can't make it in through the opening. You could crash it
yeah.
in through the edge, like, or you could bail off the ship and try to get through the fights. But there's a number of very high CR monsters all through that area. It's more or less a gauntlet.
Yeah.
What are we doing with all of our very vulnerable NPCs?
They're going in
They go in the bottle.
Oh, they go in the bottle too. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we like zoom to the tunnel entrance. I think. If we fly there, like we kind of do like a Avenger style 3-point landing as the ship goes in the bottle. Bish bash bosh, run into the tunnel, collapsing as we go. Face what's ahead.
That sounds good. Well, as
I
good as
think-
any other option that we have that's gonna
Again, be
be
generous.
bad.
Wow, is there anything I could do from a distance to like?
And
As
how
we fly
much
in?
tunnel can you quickly collapse against a group of ice devils?
Well, see, that's the thing.
Pardon
I didn't know we were headed towards tunnel, so the answer for me
Well-
is none. I can't. Don't have any stone
have walls.
manipulation other than earthquake.
Oh. Oh, okay. I was gonna say you don't have like wall of stone or anything.
So I'm going to lean in and give you the meta info of the outcome of your decisions, essentially. You fly in and land. You're going to have to do a lot of fighting to get to the end because you have to go through the tunnel. If you crash through at the cost of your ship, the DM's going to put you at the end of the dungeon tunnel, leading you right to the gates of the next spot. They won't be able to follow because the tunnels will entirely collapse from the structural damage your ship will cause. So it's whether or not you want to have a crap ton of rough fights.
Well, I don't know if this is helpful at all, but like I could blast like my it's not gonna clear these enemies. I was gonna say I do have my cone attack thing back on my sword. So I could shoot some ice or something out and I don't think it's gonna do anything. I could do it and lay down some cover fire behind us while we run.
I have a question.
Yo,
The spot where we would ram the ship through, could we tell how thick that wall is?
no, you'd be sledgehammering straight into the side of a mountain. So you're trying to get to Kintyre, which is somewhere in this mountain, and that tunnel's right there. So if you drive through, the meta-knowledge outcome has been provided. The team's like, I think we can do it with the ship, and the DM says yes. I'm not cruel enough to ask you to risk something like your ship over a situation where I go, haha, you didn't make it. Talk about mutiny at that point. Oh my god, I'm a dead man. But you cannot tell the depth and thickness. Only because it cuts straight into the side of the mountain. You know what I mean? It's a sheer cliff besides that.
Yeah, no, I was going to try and pass wall.
Oh, yeah, no, way too thick for that stuff.
What? That made my ears tingle when everything went really quiet.
Hit the end of the loop on the music.
No, I know what it was.
It
It's
gets
just,
me too. I'm in the same. It's like, what the? Oh, my ears.
So, who? I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna make people decide. Who
Okay.
wants to do the land and fight our way in?
Oh, pardon me.
And who want? Sorry, go ahead.
As you say, I think it breaks down as Flux and Jade want to keep the ship, so they want to land. Nimbar is being more pragmatic and saying that
A ship.
say goodbye to the ship. Alec is torn. It's
Well-
unfortunate because there's 4 players, which means 4 votes if only we had.
Well, no. If
Bellamy was here.
that's the case, then from what you said, Jade Flux
Expert, eh?
vote for fight.
She answers.
Nimbar is voting for Smash, and Alec is saying he abstains from voting.
I don't like abstaining, no, but basically,
Okay, well-
like I can see a case for both, and I'm just trying to decide. Alec doesn't
Lulu's
want to
gonna
lose the
look up
ship.
as the team's
but-
discussing it, and she's gonna say, "Well, you know, I vote we turn around and go home." No.
Oh, Lulu, if only we could.
Yeah,
She gives a wink and says, "Oh, that would be such a good day, but no, we have things to do. Though, you know,
yep.
you could ask the ship's owner."
Oh, we can ask the adjudicator.
Well, I'm not sure how much connection he's got, no more than nothing, but you could just ask him.
Okay, I would say I'm factoring in just us as a party when I'm thinking of the fights. I haven't been including the NPCs because NPCs seem like they can be taken away at a whim.
Zariel, the Archduke of Avernus, just stands there and flexes a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, let's ask the adjudicators. Yeah, I'm just torn. Alec would like to keep the ship for Dusty's sake, but he also knows he's stitched yous together so many times that he's like, But I think we'll take the fight because it sounds like the 2 votes for keeping the ship are stronger than my indecision or middle ground in this. I don't know, but I think we'll take the fight, depending on what the adjudicator says. Yo, big A.
Large, partially mechanical body turning to slowly face you.
Do you have any thoughts on the ship, old buddy, old pal?
He takes a slow look towards the ship, then a slow look back towards the group. Gives a shrug of his shoulders. Apparently indifferent. Lulu sort of peeks up. "Oh, that's no good. I thought he was going to solve a problem. Damn it."
Oh, that was a nice thought, Lulu.
Well, at least you know you don't give a shit if you blast her up, so that's okay.
Yeah. Does this ship still have the cannon?
Yep, good for 1 shot. Recharging it's a bit of a pain in the ass.
Well, I mean, should we, as we zoom towards the tunnel entrance, should we blast them? Then do our Avengers landing? Just
I
ask.
mean, if we go that route, I do think that's probably.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to stop that sentence because now I'm thinking, what happens if we damage the tunnel? It would kill everything, but then our way in would be blocked.
Then it solves our problem though, because then we just do a 180 for a bit, then turn around and fly through the wall. Either way, we'll get ourselves to a conclusion.
Lulu
Yeah,
leans
so-
over towards Flux. "I think they're overestimating the power of that big blaster, but, you know, better to dream." Saying it to Jillian's character Flux because, well, she has the lightning breath too.
Sorry, what did she say? I kind of zoned out there for a sec.
Oh, she just said she thinks the guys are overestimating the strength of that blaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we doing it? Is this a rough plan? Zoom in, blaster, Avengers landing. Fight, fight, fight. In the tunnel. Run, run, run. Fight,
Yeah.
fight, fight.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't fucking know.
it's like you have the mouse hovering between the two options right now. Blast in with the ship or fight them all. Blast in with ship, fight them all. I'm hovering over fight
It's
them all
like
right
that.
now.
It's like that button meme.
Yep. Oh god,
Oh.
yes, exactly.
Ellen, I just realized I misread one of the feed I just took, so I'm just gonna change it out if you're cool with that.
Oh yeah, you've got a little bit of configuring to do there anyway.
Perfect. I just figured to
Oh.
make a note of it before I just did it, just to.
What was, what feat?
I
Bamboozled
was gonna
you.
take Meta Magic Adept, and then take the Careful spell, because I thought it was based off your proficiency, but it's based off Charisma score.
I thought the feat gave you like 2 sorcery points flat.
It gives you two sorcery points, but then you get to choose 2 meta magic ones. So I took careful spell and quicken. Quicken was perfectly fine, but careful spell uses your charisma modifier, not your proficiency.
Oh right, is that like you pick how many
Many people-
not
Yeah,
to hit?
exactly.
So because you've got a -1, does that mean you target an additional creature?
No, it's minimum of 1,
Oh well,
which is just not not what I
not
thought.
not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame that the meta magic feat like works almost exclusively well on sorcerers who should already be good at it.
Yeah.
Anywho, I don't know, guys. I think
Guys, for the record, Courtney voted to destroy the ship.
oh fuck! I still need to decide.
You don't have to. We can say we've already decided, but that's what Courtney said.
I assume Courtney's at work right now.
I'm not sure. I haven't. I didn't ask.
Fair enough.
Courtney's been going through it and with both of those words capitalized. So I've just been giving her some space to deal with it how she needs to.
Yep. No. Absolutely.
Well, Bellamy takes a moment, puts the violin down as she's playing, keeping up spirits on the ship, and just nods and says, I say we blast through them, go straight in, cut through with the ship. It's just metal. Goes back to playing.
Of course, she could play Ride of the Valkyries as we rev the ship.
Do we have the knowledge of if we can rebuild the ship at a later date?
You hope so. If you had the parts and the material, the big thing that makes this ship special is it's basically a floating sword that's been heavily modified.
Okay, after we crash through, do we think it'd be possible for me to put that sword in the jar?
If it's not destroyed, and if it is, you'd have to rebuild it.
We can just go with what we had decided on. Asking Courtney was just kind of like a bonus thing to see if she had time to look at the text. But if we've already decided on using the weapon and then jumping and then running, I'm actually legitimately fine with that. Like, that seems fine with me. But if we're feeling like this is tipped to scales, then you can go ahead and destroy it.
Ironically, the scales are exactly where they were.
I know.
Yeah, I agree. We were leaning towards doing the fighting before, so I'm happy to stick with that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I do keep discounting Zariel and Adjudicator and Rhea.
Rhea sort of looks towards Dean, lifts up a brow, and she's like, you think the DM's gonna let you keep me?
Well, that's why I'm not counting them. So it's like, so it
NPCs of
seems-
that degree of power are very rarely with the party, and when they are, most people find it boring because it's not their game, it's yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Though NPCs that you create and bring along with you, like when we got like Duga here or even Crickendall, those are different. You can bring them into a fight. You don't want to.
Yeah. Or Pop. Or Pop.
Poor Pop. You got to get him back home. Death be
Well,
like, you're
once
gonna have a bad day, and everyone's like, no. And he's like, okay, here's some kindness. It's like, that's not kind at all.
Once we solve all of this, then and Serial gets her power back, then she can just take him back home with Milkrate's memory.
Yep. So, the party's kind of hung at the moment in which direction you're going. It seems to almost be split now with Courtney's vote tossed in. 2 for go, 2 for no, and 1 says, I don't know. Because Jillian, you were leaning towards using the ship to get through. Courtney says door up. John and Dan, you both are saying not to do it. And Dean, you're on the middle, right?
I can see the sentiment.
You have me and Flux mixed up, but
Oh, my bad. Flip it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see the sentimental value from the characters not wanting to do it, but I can also have so many spell slots that can bring them back. But I've just figured out of a way to do it. What, John? Pick a number between 1 and 2.
You may want to flip it.
1.5.
Jade will change his vote the other way, go through the wall and avoid the fighting so we can save the resources.
Did 1 match up with what Dan's saying there?
Well, John said 1 and not 2.
No, I
ignored
said
everything after.
1.5.
Yeah, I chose to ignore that.
So Dan's now saying, okay, let's use the ship. Nuke the ship, get through easy. Save resources.
Alright, well that's even if I went the other way, that would be free too. So, okay.
Alright. Which brings us to question number 2. Who's gonna pilot?
I'll do it.
Because the rest
I'll-
of you are gonna want to hide underneath the deck. It's gonna be a rough trip.
I have the most hit points.
That's true. Alec will ask Bellamy if she knows the song Bye Bye Little Sebastian.
She gives a wink, says probably.
Just seeing if there's anything I can give Flux. I can give you guidance, but I was trying to see if I had anything better. There's like a spell that gives people resistance, but I don't have it prepared. Are you sure? You wanna do it? I can have resistance to bludgeoning damage if I go into my starry form.
Well, I'm just thinking, yeah, I can cast a wall of force around you.
Around Flux and the controls?
Yeah. Because it can be resting on a surface. So it'll move with the ship. That's my interpretation of it. Alan can confirm if that's correct or not.
Oh yeah, we don't get too crazy with those sort of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we'll put Flux in a bubble. Everyone else can hide below deck.
No, another option. Like, I don't want to have people use resources, but if there's a creature intelligent enough that can pilot the ship, you can polymorph me and give me some temporary hit points.
As Flux is saying this, She feels a very strong hand land on her shoulder. And looking to your side, you see Judicator standing there. You do indeed have a very, very strong creature who can pilot this ship.
I don't want him to die. I don't want you to die, man.
Lulu snorts a laugh and says, oh, he say if he could talk, he'd be laughing his ass off right now.
Oh, well, I mean, by all means. Go ahead.
All right. You've got the powerful Judicator ready to pilot the ship in for you, and everyone else quickly shuffling their way down deck. Except Zariel. She stands up behind Judicator.
Which Zariel?
Archduke Zariel of Avernus, who gives a nod to the party and says I'll just provide him some backup, just in case things go south. Pretty sure ice will still melt if I hit it with fire.
Okay.
And Rhea gives a nod and holds up her shield and says, well then, in that case, I'm definitely going below deck. You guys are nuts, and goes below deck. As Dean said, a moment of no return. So if anyone has anything up their sleeves, any plans, or anything they want to do, now's the time to say it as everyone is hobbling below deck.
I don't think there's anything that I've got.
Alrighty. The ship begins to rock and move forward and lower its descent. As Judicator takes full control of it, even goes so far as to pour a little bit of demon ichor right into the engine. Gives it that extra roar of extreme power as it starts to go forward, and as if on cue, Bellamy gives a nod, raises up her violin, and starts playing music. Just because it was requested. And since no one's above deck, you're not going to have any checks or rolls to make. Though you hear the crackle of electricity across the ship as a massive blast of raw power erupts, sledgehammering into the side of the mountain. Devils yell and scream as the chaos ensues, and the ship tears itself apart as it drives hard into the snow. The mountain shudders and gives, creating an avalanche behind you, as Judicator throws the engines to full, giving it all it can muster, all it can tear, and all it can do. You all have trouble staying on your feet if you're not holding on or braced to something, except Bellamy, who stands dead middle, continuing to play on her violin for your ship. And it's not long before pieces of it tear free, tear away, as the very frame and workings of the ship tear apart from the strain of barreling through the snow and the ice and stone, until it comes down hard on the inside, landing, bouncing, and skidding along as it breaks into pieces, shattered under the weight of its own actions. As for where you ended up, well, now I have to skip one map and jump to another. And do some schmoozing, because normally you would have broken into the caves of Kintyre. But that's not quite the case here, as you're going to be skipping a lot of the front of the dungeon. But I'll still show it to you, because that's where I had your mini set to. Except yours, John, because, well, we changed. And I prepped this a little bit ago. So let me bring over Nimbar. And Nimbar. And not Nimbar. As you find yourselves.
I'm sorry, I'm so much trouble. This guy and this guy and this guy.
Oh, gotta get rid of those. They're gone. Gone and gone. And let me make sure I got everyone up to par. I'll move Pup. And no Rhea either at the moment. Now let's take the whole party as I schmooze you through this cool looking dungeon. Because all this front area, you get to skip all of it. You don't get to go there either. As your ship crashes in and lands in pieces. This area over here, And this area behind you here, where you can clearly see some bad guys awaiting, filled through snow. No longer an issue as a reward for the loss of your ship.
Oof.
I'll go ahead and put squares here and here to indicate that they cannot be passed through.
Don't even recognize one of those icons.
I had
Which
some
one?
bad ones already. For sure.
I know those is it the Aaron? Yes, Aaron. Those are the ones that summon other things.
Oh yeah. I had some fierce combat set up for you throughout this dungeon and a little bit of treasure. Just a little bit, not a lot. Enough to recognition and give you that reward, but as you
So
all
loud.
it's a bigoted. I had the same problem earlier. I was trying to quietly open some crispy minis here, and I was like, I gotta be careful or it'll be. And I'll be like, oh shit. Oh,
Sorry, I thought I was muted.
That's okay.
No
I just really
worries.
wasn't expecting it.
I always have that issue. Usually, there's always a little slip, and I like to poke fun because it's fun.
Yeah.
But
I'm
Hey,
very good for keeping myself muted.
oh,
It
yeah.
was like, oh, I'm done with these. Let's put these away.
No, it's
Crinkle.
okay. Don't even worry about it. I only said it because I was just like, whoa.
and we're just having some
Not
fun
because it
anyway.
actually bothers me.
Now, these 3 squares I've tossed up are unpassable terrain. You have filled the entirety of this cavern as you drove down deep, collapsing the entire tunnel. There's no way out. Not for them and not for you. That's the downside to driving through with your ship. But on the flip side, the DM gives a nod and says, wow, that's impressive. You all actually decided to make a hard decision to make life easier in a situation where you needed to. So as a reward, you all get a point of inspiration. Everybody!
Oh,
Also, your opponents that you can clearly see in front of you. Oh, I have one too many. Sorry. The opponents that you can clearly see in front of you as of right now have all been knocked prone. Dropped on their backs.
It looks as if they weren't expecting this.
The rumbling and tumbling. So I'll put a mark of prone on all of them. And I'm going to go ahead and roll up a battle situation. So feel free to roll for initiative, because these 4 enemies in front of you stand between yourselves and something amazing. You can see the light glistening from between the rocks, shining outward. You can probably see the effects on the map here a little bit coming through.
yikes!
A large, multicolored barrier just beyond where the Baelor stands seems to cut against the snow, as if the snow was packed up against it solid. And beyond it, you can see the beauty of the path towards Kintyre, but not clear enough during this fight.
Oh, wait.
From where my token is, I only saw the 2 Aaron Yes or Aaron Ye, whatever. However, I'm just going to call them Aaron, the 2 Aarons. And I'm like, Baylor and Pit Fiend? What are you talking about? And Pit hit escape, and I was like, oh, them.
Dan, did you get a 9 total for Jade?
Yep.
Oof. Alrighty, let me update the initiative on Jade's second turn, because I remembered it this time, at a -1. Because he's down here. I'm just going to put him in the red square so we know.
Oh.
Jade's second turn.
Oh, did I do that by accident? I might have.
What? No, I clicked my imp, if that's what you're worried about.
Okay, that was what I was worried about.
I got Lulu. I got an 11 on Lulu.
I'm glad he's
Man.
going soon, because that means he can hide sooner.
Exactly. Oh, poor Flux. Flux pulling her head out of the snow, slowly getting up like, wow, that was a rough crash, but anyone you can walk away from. Though you do notice, the majority of your NPC friends are not here. Rhea, Zariel, and Judicator seem to be elsewhere at the moment in the dungeon. The DM promises they'll catch up, don't worry. They're not that mean. Did I really roll top stats on Bellamy? Like, I'm not missing initiative on anyone here. It didn't calculate correctly for anyone, eh? Bellamy's first place with a 21.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Not bad. Not bad.
Oh, right, because she's got the Jack of all trades, which bumps up your initiative scores.
What was that mental blaster she used the other time that did a lot of damage to a bunch?
Synaptic synaptic shot? Synaptic something.
That sounds very familiar.
Uh,
I'm just looking through her spells, see if I can find something strong she can throw down quickly since she's got the opening. If anyone has any recommendations, as always.
yeah.
No, I like it. I'm just trying to find the name of it.
Synaptic pattern.
Maybe she's changed her... No, wait, that would be like a bard thing, so she wouldn't be able to change that.
I can't find the synaptic on there either. Do you see it
Let
on
me
there anywhere, Dave?
I'll check her D&D Beyond page. There's no way that like all 5 of us have misremembered this being on our spell list. we were all there.
Is it hypnotic pattern?
No,
No, that
it's
doesn't do
like
damage.
Let's see.
Word of Radiance isn't too bad. That does 4d6 against the con save.
Synaptic static. It is
Yeah.
a level 5 spell. It is in D&D Beyond, but it is not on Foundry.
Ah, let me do a re-upload with her character. See if
Weird.
that makes a difference.
It could be granted by her weapon.
No, it says Bard.
There we go,
Yeah.
Synaptic Static. I just updated her character and popped it in. And I'm gonna give her a quick long rest because she doesn't have all of her spell slots.
Yeah, I was about to say spell
Excuse
slots. Alright, so yeah, there.
And no bonuses for casting it at a higher rank from what I see.
No.
Oh, that's one spell that doesn't scale. Interesting.
Yeah, kind of curious.
I wonder where it's from. What? Must Xanathar's Guide to Everything?
Yeah,
Does not scale. Look at that.
that's so weird.
So many do that it's interesting. But it's also a nice spell, as we're about to see, as she is going to cast it and drop her down. Right here. Oh, that looks pretty. I like the
Doesn't it?
effect. They've added some nice effects for this.
Wait, how's Jade in a non-passable zone?
What?
That's the extra jade for the second turn.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I didn't notice the first one. I just saw the second one, and I was like, "What?"
Intelligence savings throws are brutal for most everything, and I'm rolling like dog crap on these. Not gonna lie. Only... Oh, shoot, I was close on that one, but nope, they all fail. So, on that note, Dan, do you want to go ahead and roll the damage for me on that one? Each one takes 8d6 psychic damage. And they all have muddled thoughts.
What was
wait.
the damage there? Because I clicked the damage button and then it's just like, hey, you can't click this.
Oh,
8d6.
8d6. Which one of these is muddled?
You know, theoretically, I could cast it too, and then they'd have that effect on them twice and have to roll 2d6 and subtract the roll.
Oh, this thing's being a pain. There we go. let me
Can-
apply that damage.
conditions stack like that?
I don't see anything saying it doesn't.
Oh, lots of conditions stack. Muddled is a kitchen condition.
It is? I thought it was specific to the.
To this, essentially.
Yeah. Right.
Muddled
So, like-
lasts for 1 minute. It's just its own specific thing.
So things like can like poisoned conditions stack? Like just for example.
I think the strongest one. Usually poisons aren't lingering effects. They just do extra damage on hit. I don't know of any that follow off the top of my head. I'd have to Google it. I usually say the strongest one is the only one that'll take effect, but you never know. They might all stack. But if
No,
it
it's
just
just-
adds damage, then
Yeah. No, I was just curious because I thought, given how simplified 5e is, something like conditions stacking, they wouldn't want to allow that because it might get complicated. So, but I mean, I guess you can be like paralyzed and stunned
Mhm.
and restrained.
and then be immune to one of those, but still have the effect on you, even though you're not having it and it's not affecting you.
Yeah.
They don't like to make it too easy on us.
Hmm.
But Bellamy's ability does make a big difference because it gives them all massive negatives throughout, so just make sure I don't forget those as we go. I almost forgot to begin combat. Which means now it's the Pit Fiend's turn. They're going to use half of their movement to get up. 10, 15, 20, 25. Yep, they use half their movement to stand up, spread their wings, and fly through the air as fast as they can as they roar, heading towards the nearest target they can see, which is unfortunately Alec in this regard. As the Pit Fiend makes its way to you, it starts swinging. Oh good, it's just a flat D1, D6, so give me 1 second here.
Mhm.
As it receives a -5 to its rolls
one-
for this turn.
Okay.
So let me roll up these 4 attacks. And Dean, what's your AC?
My AC is 22.
That one hit. I got 1 hit so
Well,
far.
So he hit, so that triggers my trap card. Silvery barbs.
Oh. I finally saw it in the wild.
Alright.
I've
So
merely
you basically give
hit
it on spot disadvantage.
Yep. And then Flux, you're going to have, actually, we'll make it Jade. You'll have advantage on your next attack.
And that's going to be a miss. So he does miss with the mace from the silvery barbs, negating the capacity. Though he still swings his tail and connects with that one, as a Pit Fiend gets 4 attacks per turn. The first
Well,
one was
then-
a bite, the second a claw, a third a mace, and the fourth a tail.
In that case, copy number.
Okay.
Copy number can do the same thing. Give me Flux advantage.
Which causes him to miss with the tail.
That's a very, very strong spell.
Yeah.
And that's it for their turn. Nimbar's turn.
Alright, so.
Oh, who gets the advantage from your second silver?
We're gonna go with Flux.
Right. Okay. I just thought I'd let's see it in all its full.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to say OPness, but it seems if it's not that, it's on the edge, surely.
Yeah.
But
So
actually, on that, before we do dive in, it is about 2
Yeah.
o'clock on the nose. We're only just starting this fight. They all have a massive negative. I have to roll a quick intelligence check, actually, to see if he gets over that. Nope, still suffering from it. And we're starting off with Nimbar's turns, but I think this is a good spot for us to stop for the week. Mostly because we're getting low on time.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Now,
That seems
for all of your NPCs that you were carrying, all the ones I don't see on the map and you're wondering where'd they go, the ship got smashed, at the very last second, with sleight of hand, I'm assuming, Jade and his bottle. This one time they all got sucked into the bottle. You
Yeah.
do know, though, if you let them out, you can't put them back in. It only worked for some strange reason because the ship was there and wobbly goodness. And the DM wants to make it a little easier on you on this one.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
yeah. So, for the record, that is one of my spell masteries.
Oh, so you've got unlimited silvery verbs. I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
I thought it would be like a reaction spell of some description.
It is a reaction, and silver spell mastery just says you get the spell. I have to have it prepared, but
How many spells do you get with spell mastery?
1 second, one first.
Yeah, I've
Turns them into cantrips, essentially.
I know a lot. I've heard shield is also a popular one.
Yeah. I took this instead of shield.
Yep.
Shield's
Wh-
handy,
what's
but at
your-
this level with your armor class, if something's going to hit you, it's going to hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably the biggest thing is to give Jade advantage without, so he doesn't need to worry so much about positioning. Probably.
Yeah, that is one like the reason that he got the first one.
And before we go for the week, I would like to let you all see sort of what you've got ahead of yourselves. So even though your vision is horribly limited of the area in front of you thanks to the rocks in the way and all that, how about everybody give me a quick perception check? See who can see past these monsters through
It's
the gateway
paused.
forward.
Okay.
Not Nimbar.
Oh, that's a bad roll for me.
Not Nimbar.
Not Nimbar either. Not Nimbar, not Nimbar. Even Jade's slipping a little on this one. So the 25s and the 28s. As you look forward and you try to peer through, it almost looks like you're looking through the side of a snow globe. Packed with snow across everywhere else and only the smallest crack visible. The area beyond seems impossibly huge. A gigantic cavern filled with what appears to be buildings. But from this angle, from this distance, you can't tell. And it's a hell of a lot bigger than you were expecting. Of course, with the giant radiating barrier in the way, kinda hard to get through, but Bellamy's been prepping a song just for this day. More on that next week as you've got a fight to get through. And after that, you will be starting the final dungeon of this campaign. Entire. More info on that next week though, I don't want to give out too many spoilers.
It's be a long road.
And Julian, definitely let Courtney know that her vote mattered. The team probably would not have done that without her vote. She votes in, the team's like, okay, let's do it. She was the deciding
Yeah.
factor. She helped to shatter
I did.
the gridlock.
I did text her and tell her
I've
that the ship's gone.
And her
I
character
have a
played parts of the Valkyrie. What's up, dude?
I've got a question. I don't know if it would be too meta or not. We're not fighting it anymore. So it's just why I'm asking. But what's this? I don't recognize it at all.
Oh, Oh,
you
the dude
talking
down
about?
there. That's a Narzagon.
Oh, the Hell Knights.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
This thing here? Like the
No, the one
beetle-looking
next
thing?
to it.
This thing.
That thing.
You might remember one from that adventure where Lulu got kidnapped.
Yep. So that's where the generals were, right?
Yep. One of them was that. Very strong enemy. And there's a few things like that to face through here, but you made the hard decision to save time and nuke your ship. Which the DM really tips his hat for. That's not an easy decision to have made.
I hadn't even considered time, but yeah, how long would it have taken us to fight through here? Got like a 5-day countdown.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mini combats, each one being a bit of a detail, plus getting through another 2 combats to get through the door. So it could have been looking at a couple weeks. You shaved a lot of time off doing this.
Yeah, couple of weeks
Real lifetime.
real lifetime, but it would have only been a few extra minutes in game time.
About an hour, 2 hours, something like that. But the cost of resources to get through. Because I wasn't pulling punches with those fights, I can guarantee you.
Well, yeah, because like if you factor in, would need to try and squeeze in a long rest, probably just that for getting through this cave, which, like,
oh yeah,
not like we would have just slept at the end of the cave because we just woke up, but trying to find a point to spare 8 hours would maybe be tough.
At least on the plus side, you get to see a Baelor in combat. Now, I know they're a devil and demons, or they're a demon and they're not a devil, but, you know, they're strong enough that they make their own alliances, you know what I'm saying? So, before anyone's like, wait, is that a plot hole? The DM says, no, I just want you to fight something really cool. I mean, he's allied himself with, I want you to fight something really cool.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
You are stepping from here into Kintyre, so this is your last hat tip from Devils and Demons after dealing with them for the last umpteenth years in real lifetime. So, you know, I wanted to make it fun. I actually had the Baelor as a mini too. I always imagined it to be the last fight of Devils and Demons for you, but he looks just as good as a mini.
Has the party seen a Baelor yet?
Nope.
Or has it just been pit fiends? Oh, so we can have like a Gandalf moment where we're like, what's that, Nimbar? He just goes, a foe from an ancient time. It is beyond any of you. Run!
Fly, you fools!
You know what that means, John? You gotta prep a speech for next week. Oh my. And meanwhile, you got Jade Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, meanwhile, you got Jade just lining up like, he looks like he'll bleed like everything else. You just wait, I get behind him.
I was gonna say I'll work on my Elijah Wood Frodo accent. Nimba.
Give them a moment, for pity's sake.
We already know you've got the Sean Bean and Boromir accent down. Well, I know. I don't know if everyone else knows. It's one of his his impressions that he does. It makes me laugh every single time, and I can't explain why.
Hey, if it works, it works. Comedy's gold when it's golden. I run with it if it's a good laugh. Some of the silly things Sandy and I'll say to each other, people look at us weird and we just die with laughter from it. It's like the Minions, you know, when they look at each other, banana, and they just lose it. That's what I'm inspired by. But, alrighty. I'm gonna call it here because that's a nice spot to leave off, and we'll jump into a fight next week. And then you get to start the penultimate dungeon of the campaign. I'm excited. You're probably curious what's in there because I still haven't given it a lot of info, but it's gonna be epic.
I imagine horror and pain beyond what we've encountered so far.
That'd be hard to top, especially after I did the thing to Pup today. That's like a new level of evil for the DM. He's like, oh
my god. God help us if you roll a crit on that Balor when it attacks.
Rushes in, smashes poor Lulu. Everyone's like, how could you, DM? You don't cross that line.
Yeah, like...
3 to metagame for a second, just because they're such legendary creatures. I figured I'd look it up.
Oh yeah.
3d8 plus 8 plus 3d8 lightning, and if it rolls a critical hit, it rolls its damage dice 3 times instead of twice.
I love them.
So what's 6 times 3 is what?
6
times
times 3 is 18.
18.
So 18d8 plus 8 on a critical hit with the longsword.
Let's get into Jade
Jeez.
territory for dice rolls here. Come on now. Oh,
Anyway, just heads up.
it's gonna be a fun fight next week.
He rolls a critical with that longsword.
I can't wait.
So-
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. So Balers are way more powerful than Pit Fiends, arguably.
They
Oh,
only
yeah.
have 2 attacks, so at least. Pitifully.
There's back
Or
a little.
mercifully, I mean.
But they do more with them. I guess it's is more less or is less more?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Alrighty then, everyone. Well, y'all have yourselves a good week, and I will catch you all next week.
Bye.
right.
Everyone,
good
thank
one,
you for the
guys.
games.
Yep.
Oh,
Bye, guys.
always a
Cheers for
pleasure,
running.
everyone. Later.
Alright, see ya.
Have a good one.